Good afternoon. Welcome everybody. We are here today at Aspect Virtual Reality Gaming Studios. We've been waiting a while. We started this tournament in May.
It's been a long time.
It is now pretty much August. So it's been a long, grueling tournament, but we are now down to the final 4 players in our SKL Season 2 Finals. With me is Edge today. I'm Captain Pickle Pants, and we are so pleased to be with you for the finals of our SKL tournament today. We had a grueling tournament, as I mentioned, and we've brought out our top 4 players who are here with us today at Aspect Gaming Studios, and we've got them in person, going to be joining us on camera, going to be bringing us their thoughts.
One of them's right here.
One of them's right here, because you brought it right in, absolutely. So Edge is going to be in our tournament. We've also got Inoshishi, which will be joining you a little later on for your match.
Yep,
and then
we've
also got Alarid and Mr. Joe Norm, who are going to be playing right away here today. So I guess this brings us into our first match. Mr. Joe Norm was our first seed in Group A, I believe it was.
Yeah, he had a 13-1 record coming out of Group A, so he pretty much crushed it. His only loss was to one of the only players who isn't here, Geok. He lost in the tiebreaker to Inoshishi, but I'm pretty sure it was a 3-2 anyway, so it was super close. So he's coming out of the gates. He's playing a little bit off meta, but it's working for him. So I'm sticking to his guns here. The deck lists have been submitted by the players. We have them. The other players have them. So there's no wacky secret tech cards that we're going to be super surprised about. No Yogg and Control Warrior or something. We know all 4 decks. We have a rough idea of how they're going to play against each other based on the tech cards, and the players know what the decks are as well.
And then our other one in the group here is going to be Alarid as well too, and he faced off against you in that tiebreaker match to determine who got first seed and who got second seed.
Yeah, it was we tied in the regular season 3-2 for him, 3-2 for me. We played the tiebreaker on Thursday and I won 3-2. It went to the full 5 games obviously, so it's just super tight the entire time.
So there we go. So when we come back, we are going to get right into our first match of the day. It's going to be Mr. Joe Norm versus Alarid. Thank you for tuning in, and let's get to some Hearthstone. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
It's going to be game number 1 here. We've got Mr. Joe Norm versus Alarid. So Mr. Joe Norm bringing to the table here today, he's got Purify Priest, mid-range Hunter, Jade Druid, and a mid-range Shaman. And we've got Alarid, who is playing Pirate Warrior, Control Mage, Ellie Shaman, and Jade Druid. Edge, we have the bans in. Why don't you tell us sort of what you think is going to go on in this matchup and our bans?
So we're starting off the bans. Mr. Joe Norm has banned has gotten his Shaman banned, and Alarid has had his Control Mage banned. So we're going to have a Priest, Hunter, Druid versus Warrior, Shaman, Druid. So we're going to have a Druid mirror at the very least. Pirate Warrior seems favored in this situation. It feels like it's favored against all 3 decks. Jade Druid is going to have some trouble with the Purify Priest and potentially the mid-range Hunter. I think that's going to be the weakness for Alarid, and I think we're going to see it stall out. the Shaman is interesting because normally I would say his Shaman's favored in the mirror because he has more removal than a typical Evolved Shaman, but they're actually both bringing mid-range Shaman. So that's pretty much a 50-50 mirror. So it'll be interesting to see that. And then Pirate Warrior versus Purified Priest, again, is typically the Pirate Warrior. So I'm going to give the slight edge. I think I'm going to... depends whose Jade Druid sneaks the first win. And we're not going to see it here because we're starting off with Larid on Shaman versus Mr. Joe Norm on the Hunter.
Yeah, and we see a very good starting hand from Mr. Joe Norm. Probably doesn't even need to mulligan that at all. And then over here on the Alarid side, I mean, it's looking like probably toss away, think from below, gets rid of the totem as well, keeps his Lightning Storm. Very good pickup for him as well. That's going to clear the early board presence that Mr. Joe Norm is going to put out. And as we see right here, he's going to have a filthy early game coming out. I mean, gets this, yeah, the Hyena, the Kindly Grandmother, and gets himself Rat Pack as well, too.
We're probably going to see Coin Portal come out because of the fact that that card that's sitting in the hand for Mr. Joe Norm right now, that Scavenging Hyena, if he leaves these two Alley Cats up, this game is going to be pretty over pretty quickly.
So it does decide to pass the turn.
See, now this is interesting. I would do the Kindly Grandmother, which is exactly what's going to happen. This gives you a little bit more board resiliency, and now if he Maelstrom Portals or Lightning Storms, he's actually going to have the board left over. He's even drawn the Houndmaster, so he's going to be able to go Rat Pack into Houndmaster for just, this is about as good. When you play Hunter, this is what you want. You want the 1-drop into the 2-drop, into the 3-drop, into the 4-drop. This is what gets Hunter those wins.
But he does pick himself up a really nice Young Priestess there, so that is going to trade favorably into the Kindly Grandmother morphed form. So now it kind of becomes, do I drop the Hyena here and get a little bit of stats onto that one, or do I drop the Rat Pack? He decides to go for the Rat Pack and goes more face. He's just pumping down as much damage into him as he can.
See, this is going to be really good from Allard because he can actually trade the... I would be trading the Young Priestess into the Rat Pack and then Lightning Storming to get everything away. It's going into a Houndmaster turn. You get rid of the board presence from the Hunter. It reduces the amount that they can snowball, and it really gives him a good transition into his early game because after the Lightning Storm, he can totem, or he can coin the Hot Spring Guardian. And once he coins the Hot Spring Guardian, that going into turn 5, he can serve into Kalmos. So if I were him, I'd be Young Priestess into the 2/2, into the Rat Pack, Lightning Storm, and just go from there.
Yeah, so we'll see if he decides to go for that route.
He's really debating this, though. I wonder what he's worried about. He's probably getting a little bit too greedy and hoping that there's not a Houndmaster there. But it's
pretty favorable.
For the risky play.
So he does decide to take out the Kindly Grandmother's morph form there. Goes in with Jade Spirit as well, and that's going to drop him the 2/3 board presence as well as gets his golems going, which is, you know, what he's trying to do. He's trying to make some Jades.
In this matchup, that's not what he's attempting to do. He wants to stem the bleeding as much as possible, and leaving a beast up going into turn 4, he did draw the Hex. That is literally, that saved him.
That's the best draw right there. Yep.
That 100% saved him because now he can run the 1/1 into the frog, smack the 2/3, and now he's left with just the 4/3. But that was the curve just keeps rolling.
Oh yeah, it gets himself up the Animal Companion 4/4 taunt, drops the Scavenging Hyena behind the taunt as well too, and is still dealing 4 damage per turn to the face of Alarid, and he's got to try and stop the bleeding here. And we'll see if this Lightning Storm is going to be a favorable one for him. Opts to not go for the totem with that. So we'll have to see. Does it do it? It's an okay trade. Trades the whole boards off, but I mean, a Savannah Highmane's coming dropping down next turn.
He's lucky that wasn't a spell damage totem. Because if you're going to totem anyway, you should almost always be toteming. And this is the downside of using your Hex on that Rat Pack. Now you don't have the Hex for the Hyena, and now the Hunter's going in, and it's got a plan. It's got the Unleash the Hound Scavenging Hyena to make a gigantic Hyena, and you've wasted one of your most important tools. And he does have the second Hex, but we're not even 12 cards, 16, we're not even halfway through the deck. The odds of him drawing the second Hex at this point are just super low.
And if he does get it, I mean, it's going to be pretty lucky for him, but he just fills up this board more and more, puts the spiders down, gets another steady shot right into the face, 18 damage.
The one really nice part here, though, you're going to Fire Elemental in that Savannah Highmane, stem the bleeding a little bit, and next turn Kalamos wipe the board. And you will almost caught up.
Yeah, that Kalamos is going to be great for him. It will just wipe out this entire board. Playing a Kindly Grandmother too, and you know what, the Elemental is going to trade into that favorably as well, and this is going to swing it right here, so we'll have to see if Mr. Joe Norm is going to have enough damage to come out with the victory right here, because this is going to wipe out his entire board, and Hunter doesn't play very well from behind.
No, it does not at all. There's a reason why it's not too popular in the meta, and it's for this exact reason. Once you've lost board control and you're going into turn 8, turn 9, you're out of cards, and your only catch-up mechanisms are 1 mana 1/1s, and hope that you get something huge.
And he turns out to get something completely massive.
So now, Alarid needs to be super careful to not spam the board with too many creatures. And if he does, he needs to make sure that he has a taunt, because if Unleash the Hounds is again one of the only ways, and if not the only way, that Hunter catches up. So I think Alarid's actually debating playing Unleash the Hounds here just for the 2.
Mr. Joe Norm, you mean?
Sorry, yes, Mr. Joe Norm is debating doing the 2, and I think he's gonna pass. Oh, another fantastic draw.
Yeah, Jinyu Water Speaker is going to get some of that health total back as well. We'll see what he discovers here. Looks like he's got another Fire Elemental if he wants it, or he can put down the Earth Elemental to help him out with his health total.
Taunt is just incredible.
And so the Jinyu Water Speaker comes out, heals him for 6, and he still has that Elemental on board, trading in favorably well. So right now, yeah, you drop down the Ultrazor, and you got to kind of hope that the Hex doesn't come out, doesn't get it. Does get a Jade Lightning, but at this point, I think it might even be game, yeah.
17.
If he drops Jade Claws too, that should be game. So there we go.
That's game 1. And not gonna lie, Alarid got pretty rewarded by the Hex. I still think the misplay was not using the Lightning Storm there. I think it would have resulted in taking a lot less damage, and he wouldn't have needed to top deck those health. But because of that, because of his fortuitous draws, and you know what? On paper, this matchup is very favored for the Shaman. You have the healing, you have the board clears, you have the removal. It's just overall, it's a very favored matchup for the Shaman. So while, yes, his draws were good, he's built his deck to have those draws. So I still would have liked to have seen the trade into the Wrap Pack, the Lightning Storm, on the turn 3, Hot Spring Guardian with the coin, turn 5, Servant to Kalamos, and then you even still have your Elementals later on to trigger your Kalamos Lord.
So that will take the Elemental Shaman off the board here for Alarid as he picks up that 1-0 victory right here, leaving him the Jade Druid and the Pirate Warrior left to go. And Mr. Joe Norm's side, again, we've got Jade Druid, the Mid-Range Hunter, and Purify Priest.
I still think that Alarid is going to have to sneak a win with his Jade Druid. And I think, honestly, if he starts Pirate Warrior now, it doesn't really matter what deck that is selected. I feel like the Pirate Warrior is favored. And I feel like that would go up to a 2-0. The Purify Priest is 100% favored versus Jade Druid. It is such a swingy matchup because you just make a gigantic... all you have to do is make a gigantic health minion, and you just wait until you draw Shadow Visions or Inner Fire, and you combo off against the Druid. And then... Jade
Druid versus Jade Druid, that's really the only opportunity where Alarid could probably swing that victory.
They both have Yogg.
And they're both running 2 Primordial Drakes.
They both have 2 Gadget Zen Auctioneers. They both have... He has 1 Feral Rage. He has 2 Feral Rage. He has Tar Creeper instead. So let's see what they bring out, because we have the second match going in right away.
Yep, should be pretty soon over there.
I already guess it's going to be Pirate Warrior versus either Mid-Range Hunter or Purify Priest.
Yeah, I could see that Mid-Range Hunter come back out once again. We'll have to see sort of that. That really depends on the draws there, right there, as well too. I mean, if you get you know, a really nice weapon mid-game sort of presence with the Pirate Warrior, it's really hard for the Mid-Range Hunter to come back.
I heard Mr. Magni though, so I know on a fact that it's Pirate Warrior versus Purify Priest going into the next match.
So there we go. We will transition it over here right away, as it's going to be Mr. Joe Norm versus Alarid in game number 2. And we'll have to wait for that to get going. Yeah, it's looking over here, it seems like we've got the Purify Priest going up against the Pirate Warrior, like we said.
This is an interesting thing, one that I've deliberated against a lot. He actually kept the Heroic Strike. I was going to talk about keeping the Celsi deckhand. That is not what you want to see at all. But let's quickly talk about this for a second. Potion of Madness is a very real card, and I personally don't keep Celsi deckhand on the play against Priest for this exact reason, because it doesn't matter here, because unfortunately Alarid drew patches. But if Mr. Joe Norm had Potion of Madness. It's turn 1 play Celsi Deckhand Patches attack. Potion of Madness, the Celsi Deckhand, and you get rid of 2 of their cards for free.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So he does actually get a free power
really
word shield, though. Yeah. Very, very good start, and this is kind of what Purify Priest needs here. So on the 2-drop here, could choose to maybe take this out. Honestly, I would consider it, because this could snowball
he kept the heroic
pretty
strike.
hard.
He needs to, if he kept it, he has to have a specific reason for it.
This would be one of them right here.
And
yeah.
I personally don't like starting with the Celsi Deckhand. I would have started with the patches, even though it sucks to draw it. You put yourself in a better situation because you would have had taken 1 more health, and you're putting a 1/1 into the 2/5 instead of the Celsi Deckhand. Obviously, yes, we have caster vision, but 9 times out of 10, if I'm on ladder and I draw patches, I'm playing patches turn 1.
No, absolutely. It's really its only turn that it's somewhat valuable would be on turn 1, right? Because you still get the 1 damage in.
In the Pirate Warrior.
Oh yeah.
When I draw patches Shaman, I keep it because there's nothing better than Bloodlust for the patches.
This is true. This is true. So the Ancient Watcher comes down the 4/5 can't attack, and this is going to put down probably Sea Frothing Berserker into this one. But the silence is out.
This is really good for Mr. Joe Norman. He even has the Purify. I would not be Purifying here. I would be silencing. I would be running it in. I would be playing the Northshire Cleric, and I'd be healing. And then you draw the card. Instead, he did draw a card, but he wasted a card from his hand to do it, and now his 4/5 is going to die to the 4/3. So I personally think that you get the exact same situation, and now your Silent Watcher doesn't die, and he lets the 4/3 live.
He does. So this is going to be a favorable trade now with the heal coming in. Doesn't get the heal onto that one, but I mean, he can drop down Razor Leaf right now if he wants to. Goes with the Shadow Visions. Looks like he's going to grab the, well, combo really. Because he's going to, yeah, I would heal your Ancient Watcher.
Because he didn't heal last turn, now Patches can kill the 4/5. Or, sorry, it's a 4/6. I can't do math. Oh, no, he didn't heal. He
didn't heal it, yeah, he interfired it.
That N'Zoth's first mate is very timely because it's going to get rid of this. Now, we're going to see a whole bunch of animations go off, but basically what's going to end up happening is the Celsi Deckhands, or the N'Zoth's hook, and the Patches is going to go into the Silent Watcher. The Celsi Deckhand is going to go face, and then Mr. Joe Norm has Razor Leaf and Silence in hand with Inner Fire, so he has a 3-mana 8/8, 4-mana 8/8, and now we have Shadow Visions to try to look for the Divine Spirit.
Yeah, so this is going to be, his 4/8 drops down. We'll see if he silences it. Might choose to do it next turn.
There's no point silencing.
Yeah, just in case, you know, you get it to the next turn. Drops down another Bloodseal Buccaneer. So
very, very big Bloodseal Raider.
Yeah, so it's all going into face here. Looks like we're going to have to see Mr. Joe Norm try and deal with this big board because
there's no need. Shadow Visions, as long as you, and that is probably the best draw in his deck. So if he sees the Inner Fire off, I would be Shadow Visions first, but I guess, no, this is correct. He silenced and then put the health buff. Or he's going to trade instead. I guess he's just going to control the board. He doesn't want to go for the lethal.
You can draw into it. He's got quite a bit.
Yeah, next turn he's going to probably look for that Divine Spirit though.
So Naga Corsair is going to come out here, and that's going to give his weapon 1 more attack on that one. And now it's a matter of, do I start trying to control this board, or do I just keep going face? Looks like he is going to choose for the control option. He's thinking about it. Could start going face here too. I mean, you're getting to the point where I don't think if you're trading favorably, you're going to beat a Priest. I think you have to try and beat his health total here.
I don't even think he could beat the Priest's health total right now. He's out of cards. He's out of options right now, realistically. He's going to choose to get rid of the 3/4. He's going to go 4 face. He's going to kind of middle of the road option, which is, in my opinion, totally fine. But what we're going to see is we're going to start with the Shadow Visions probably.
Yeah.
Look for that Inner Fire, or sorry, the Divine Spirit, and
he
finds
gets
it. And that's going to be 16, 32, that, 20. You can only do 20.
Yeah, so he might even choose to go for, goes for the Purify for his Ancient Watcher. I don't really mind that either, because he's got, because I mean, it gives him another option here. He's not all in with his Razor Leaf. Drops down another 4 or 5 body. He's going to Purify that and Inner Fire whatever he chooses to next turn, and he still has, and then he's still got the opportunity to dig for his combo once again. So Immortal Strike is going to come in onto the Razor Leaf.
Smart.
And
bleeding a little bit.
Yeah, and does allow him to sort of trade off favorably there. Gets the armor up going back in, but The Purify Inner Fire combo is coming out right away, and he gets another Divine Spirit. So,
about as good as you can get.
That's going to hurt. He gets a Radiant Elemental too to do it all for just as like free as possible. So here it comes in. This is going to be a big Falcon Punch attack, as I always like to call it. A 10-10. The Falcon Punch Priest. Oh, bam. Oh, he does decide to do it onto the Blood Sail. So interesting there. But I mean, the board is all here. And what does Warrior draw? Like,
this game is pretty much wrapped up. The Purify Priest has all but won. A mix of two things. I actually personally don't like the Heroic Strike. I think you're looking for your early minions. You're looking for the Bloodsail Cultists. He wasn't on the coin. I personally think the Pirate Warrior on the coin in this matchup is a little bit better, just because they can go 1-drop into 3-drop. Historically, Pirate Warrior's 2-drops are not very strong, except for Fiery War Axe. And in this matchup, you're really looking for that Fiery War Axe. You're looking to make sure that you don't drop patches, which unfortunately you can't control. But this game's pretty much all but wrapped up. We're gonna another Falcon Punch to the face. We have the taunt set up for the health. We have the 2 minions, and there's pretty much nothing that can be drawn here.
Yeah, no, this is pretty much all but over. I mean, whatever he draws here, the only really opportunity would have been if he would have somehow got a Leroy Jenkins into the Ancient Watcher.
He's not even running.
And he's not even running it, so
he's running 1 Captain Greenskin, 2 Naga Corsair, 1 Mortal Strike, and 1 Spellbreaker in those tech slots.
So maybe if he got an Arcanite Reaper there, it would have looked a little different, maybe to trade off, but again,
This is just an embarrassment of riches now. A 4-mana 10-9 taunt. If I told you that that card was going to be in the Frozen Throne, what would you say to me?
I would say that it's completely disgusting. Get that garbage out of my game, but that is what we just saw, so it's all but over here. He's just going to silence whatever he feels like.
He's just going through the motion.
The GG button needs to come into play here. So that's pretty much the surrender right there. So it's going to go to 1-1. Yeah, so that's going to leave us now with the mid-range Hunter, which we saw last time. And that's going to be going up against the Jade Druid and this Pirate Warrior.
Yeah, I would guess that the mid-range Hunter is going to go against the Pirate Warrior next game. I really do think that both these players are going to be leaving Jade Druid for the last possible area, just because both of them are very unfavored for almost all the matchups. Hunter is a little bit closer just because, well, Hunter's Hunter. It's pretty much a 50-50 deck. You either draw your curve or you don't.
Or you don't, and you're done, yep.
Even in the games where you draw your curve, if you play against a bad matchup like that Shaman, like the Taunt Warrior, like those matchups that Hunter really hates, it just doesn't win. But I tell you what, if we see that curve that he had in game 1 against that Jade Druid, it's winning 9 times out of 10. It's just so good. And Allard really needs to make sure that when he goes to those Houndmaster turns, he removes the guys in play, because that's the most important thing, because he almost lost the favorable matchup because of that.
Absolutely. So did get really lucky with that Hex that game. If he doesn't get that Hex, I mean, that could have been...
It was going to be trouble.
It was going to be trouble.
He had a 4-4 and a 4-3, and he's going into Savannah High Main right away. He had Rat. So that's the scariest part, is if at any point he would have drawn Tundra Rhino as well, the Rat Pack goes in, trades, and then you get the 4 guys with charge. It's just
so much damage coming to face.
Especially when he's running 2 Tundra Rhinos. Most lists only running 1, but he's running 2. He wants to maximize that curve. He wants to win the games. It's just gross.
It's basically the equivalent of like a mid-range face hunter almost at that point.
No, that's pretty much what it is. That's what most mid-range hunters are. Is yes, they're mid-rangey, but they want to go face.
Oh, you got to go face. You got to get that curve.
Get
the
go face. Taunton way. Face.
Just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep trudging through. Yep. It's kind of like an NFL running back trying to get through the linebacker. You just keep trying. I want to just run. Let me run. I know you make like $30 million a year to stop me from doing this, but
interesting.
I want to get through. So it's going to be we're going to see the Jade Druid going up against the Pirate Warrior.
So he feels like he has more of a chance with the Jade Druid against his Pirate Warrior than he does with the Hunter.
And unfortunately, he doesn't have the coin with it either, whereas you'd love to see a Jade Druid try and get the coin.
Very, very nice turn 2, or turn 1 and turn 2. So if he keeps this in, honestly, I would keep this whole hand.
Yep.
You have Coin Fire Axe turn 1. You have Dread Corsair, South Sea Deckhand, and he keeps it.
Turn 2.
Turn 2. And then turn 3, you have the best card in the matchup in Frothing Berserker. Because then every time you trade these 1/1s, you're still going face with the damage. You're just storing it on the Frothing Berserker.
He does get a little lucky. He is going to get an Innervate into a Jade Blossom, so at least it's a pretty good turn 1 for Mr. Joe Norm here on the Druid. So that is going to help him a little bit. Yeah, so it's going to be Really good mid game for both of these players right now. Fiery War Axe is going to come out. Be interested to see if he even trades it or just passes turn here.
Oh, this is tricky.
I would probably pass turn.
Yeah, I think I'd pass turn too.
I mean, the 1/1 isn't that too much of a threat.
You're not worried about dying to damage.
No, and you got your Corsair out as well too to sort of deal with anything that he's going to be bringing with that 1/1, so that stops it.
Important, and now he knows that he has another Fiery War Axe.
And he can trade into the Dark Reaper too.
He's gonna run the Celsi deckhand into the Dark Reaper with the Fiery War Axe. I don't expect this patches to trade. I think he's gonna save it. I think he's gonna save it for the Frothing Berserker. So this patch is gonna go face.
Yeah,
I would
personally do that as well too. Keep it for the Frothing Berserker. We're gonna see a swipe.
This is the only time where you're punished by it, and even then you're okay with it because the swipe comes out before your Frothing Berserker, and swipe's one of the only answers that they have to Frothing Berserker before it goes out of control.
So he is.
I would personally swing it into the 1/1 now.
Yeah, I would now too.
People are probably thinking, well, why didn't you do it before? Well, you need the information. You didn't know you were going to draw the Fiery War Axe. Now you have the weapon swings that you can go into turn 4, turn 5 with both the Fiery War Axe and the Arcanite Reaper, and now you're storing one of the damage onto the Frothing Berserker.
Yeah, so, and I mean you get the decides to pass the turn on that one. Maybe
I would have gone face or into the 1/1, and the Jade Druid draws the Feral Rage to help with this. I'm not gonna lie to you, this is not looking good for the Pirate Warrior.
No, that right there, that draw was huge, because
now we're going into a turn 6 Jade Behemoth, and the Pirate Warrior has done 2 damage to the Druid, and a taunt's coming next turn.
And Druid loves to be into that late game looking like a solid board. If he's got 1 or 2 minions to deal with, especially only Pirate Warrior minions, it's exactly where he wants to be, because that's the thing, is that swipe is really the only thing that's going to clear off the board of the Pirate Warrior.
We seem to have a little bit of an issue with the stream. I think we're going to need to hop out of spectator real quick just so that way we can come back in, because we see the turns happening, but nothing's happened. So basically what's happened right now is the Fire War Axe has gone into the face, and then he's played the Arcanite Reaper, and Mr. Joe Norm has already played the Jade Behemoth. So we're just going to quickly hop out of spectator real quick, and then we're going to hop back in, and we'll be fine. So
yeah, we'll get that done really quick as soon as we can here, and maybe get the players to...
Hopefully we're not missing too much. The Jade Druid didn't have much in his hand. I'm hoping that they're thinking about their plays a little bit. We're probably going to be a couple turns behind.
Yeah, we'll try and see what we get. We're coming right back in here, and we will...
Hashtag small indie company.
Yeah, you know.
Their spectator mode's a little buggy sometimes.
We do what we can with what we got. So yeah, we are back into the game here.
Right.
We did see the Behemoth come out, and that's going to drop down now the 2/2. And the 3/3, that's just filthy.
Yeah, this is
and he's got nothing to deal with it here too. He might even want to save the Mortal Strike. It looks...
He's drawn so many weapons.
Yeah.
And he felt so far behind early game. It's just this is the matchup. Before the expansion, before Ungoro, Pirate Warrior was heavily favored against Jade Druid. I would argue that Pirate Warrior is still favored against Jade Druid, but it is much closer than it used to be. Especially now that they have access to Primordial Drake, now that they have access to Earthen Scales especially, they have another source of armor gain. It makes it so that way you can't cheese out the wins. Now, pre-expansion, the way this matchup is running right now, it's running the exact same way, and the Jade Druid would win before, because we haven't seen the Earthen Scales, we haven't seen the Primordial Drake yet.
Yeah.
But when you see those other 2 cards, it's what helped tip the matchup from like a 60-40, 70-30 matchup into that closer 55-45 range. While the Pirate Warrior is still favored, and typically the backs of their wins are based off of Frothing Berserkers, getting through the taunts and just smashing face with the little guys. The other way that they can do it is that they swarm the board with South Sea Captain, and just make it so that way their guys can't be picked off with swipe. Their 1 toughness guys become 2 toughness. But what we're going to see here now is an embarrassment of riches. Alarid's stuck with 2 weapons in hand and a weapon equipped. Alarid's at 10 mana. He has a taunt in play. He's drawing with Nourish. This is
going to wrath out the Frothing Berserker.
Yeah.
He's going to keep pretty much, well, it just goes in for the trade. I mean, keep your life total at that point. And I mean, yeah, like you were saying, there's Fandral, there's the Primordial Drake now. So even if there was an opportunity to flood the board and come back, Primordial Drake would deal with pretty much the entire Pirate Warrior board.
You know, this is pretty much
game, yeah.
over.
Yeah, there's not too much you can do right here.
One of the downsides of Pirate Warrior and why I didn't bring it is for this exact situation. You go through the motions, you can play out the next 4 turns all you like, but you are dead.
You are dead.
You are deader than dead. The Druid has a taunt in play. It's at 26 health. He has 6 cards in hand. You have 2 cards in hand that are weapons, and you're at 13. When the control deck has a higher life total than you do, it is over.
It's done. And I mean, yeah, 10 mana. I mean, this is,
They
again...
both know. They're both throwing out the well plays. The Jades are up to 4s.
It's over. It's over. So that's going to leave us now with a Jade Druid victory out of Mr. Joe Norm. So that leaves the mid-range Hunter that he's got to get victories on against the Pirate Warrior and against the Jade Druid. So it's going to kind of flip the other way. I feel like mid-range Hunter is, I want to say, more consistent than Pirate Warrior at times to get that damage into the face.
It's really not.
But it depends, again, on your draw. I mean, it's all going to be the draw. If the Jade Druid gets into the mid game, I mean, he's running 2 Stonehill Defenders. He's also got 2 Primordial Drakes, so if it does get into the mid game, I mean, that clears most of the board there. And he is running 2 Earthen Scales, so the Jade Druid is looking really good against the mid-range Hunter here.
So here's the thing. Pirate Warrior is a little bit less consistent with its board presence against Jade Druid. But what Pirate Warrior has over Jade Druid is the weapons.
True.
And they can use their own face, and they don't care, against the Jade Druid's taunts. The mid-range Hunter here, specifically 1 card is missing that'll help win the match for Mr. Joe Norman. It's Galaka Crawler. If he runs 2 Galaka Crawlers instead of the Spellbreaker and one of the Tundra Rhinos, which is what we typically see on ladder, or even the Swamp King Dread. Actually, yeah, remove the Tundra Rhino and the Swamp King Dread for 2 Galaka Crawlers. The matchup instantly swings based on if you draw that card against Pirate Warrior. And if they do, it's instantly favored for the Warrior. However, the Hunter against the Druid's interesting because we have the taunts to deal with the board presence, but the techs that he's chosen are actually better against Jade Druid than they are against Pirate Warrior. So that's why we're saying that the Hunter is a little bit more favored against the Jade Druid, because of the fact that he has the Swamp King Dread. It's 7 mana, 9/9. Druids just can't deal with that.
No.
Not unless they have the Jades to trade into it. So it'll be interesting to see. I expect Alarid to start with Pirate Warrior into it because he knows there's no Galaka Crawlers. If Alarid is on the coin, he has a Cultist and an Azos First Mate, I expect this to go to the 5th game. And by then, it just becomes, does the mid-range Hunter draw its curve? And if it does, I expect it to win.
Yep.
If it doesn't,
it's going to be pretty tough.
And people might argue that that's RNG, but to me, that's just deck building.
Well, that's card games.
A lot of what the players have prepped and a lot of the players' skill has actually gone into the lineup building. And to me, if the mid-range Hunter, he brought it because he's happy with it. He knows how it works, and he's comfortable with it. And he understands that if he doesn't draw his curve, he's gonna lose. So right now we see the Hunter's on the coin. He's got the 1-drop and the 3-drop. I would be mulling at least one of those Houndmasters, if not both, because you want your 2-drop. Now he's only running. He's running the full 6 2-drops. If he's running Galaka Crawler, he'd run the full 8.
Yeah.
So because he's not running the full 8 2-drops, I would consider mulliganing both Houndmasters for the 2-drop, and I would even consider Rat Pack isn't as good in this matchup, but he decides to choose it. So he actually went with my reasoning, mulligan one of the Houndmasters to try to find one of the 2-drops, ended up getting another 4-drop. So he's hoping sometime in the next 2 turns he drops the 2-drop.
So we are going to see the Jade Idol come out, gets the 1/1, and going over to Mr. Joe Norm's side, dropping Alley Cat here. And he does get an Animal Companion. That's an okay second turner if he wants to run out. Yeah, and I mean, he's got the coin. He can drop out Rat Pack next turn as well. So that's looking pretty good, to be honest. Mid-game push here from Mr. Joe Norm. So we'll probably see the coin Animal Companion come out, or Rat Pack.
See Rat Pack first. Actually, you know what? I think you're right. I think I would have preferred to see the Animal Companion because you can curve Rat Pack into Houndmaster.
Well, yeah, that's just it, and then you get your charge damage potentially in there, or you get the 2/4, and then that becomes a bigger Rat Pack. So we'll have to see if he goes with the probably will go with the Animal Companion here next turn.
He's hoping for Huffer. as is every hunter in the history of hunter ever.
And he gets
Leok.
Leok. So that is actually not even going to trade very well into the Stonehill Defender at all. Decides to get the damage into it. And this is going to be
this is
a
gross.
very nice swipe.
Oh, that is literally the best draw in his deck.
Mm-hmm.
That's gross. I don't even know what you're thinking about, dude. Run the 1/1 into that 3/1. And
Swipe the whole board.
Swipe.
And your Jade Druid is just looking mint. So there's that early game curve that Mr. Joe Norm needed.
I saw him shake his head over there.
Yeah.
He is not happy with that draw, and he knows that that was a top deck. He is not happy about
Does
that.
get a nice Crackling Razor Maw, though, onto his Hyena, and he's probably going to run, I guess, summon the
Wind
2
Fury.
plants.
Go for the damage,
Goes
man.
for it.
Because you got the Houndmaster next turn. Wow.
So he got
Another
Curator.
swipe.
He's got Curator right here.
He does.
And he's probably going to choose that. That's going to give him his Primordial Drake. And we'll see if he pulls anything else out with that with the Beast. I don't believe he does.
No, he does
So
not.
he does get the Primordial Drake out of that one, and that's going to just play very, very well into the late game here. He's got his Behemoth sitting there as well for next turn, and he's got Swipe, and he's got all the tools to stay alive. But
I would have preferred the Animal Companion. You have a 66% chance to get a really good outcome. You have, like, as much as the Leok wouldn't be great, you run the Crackling Razor Maw. Actually, you know what? Thinking about it, you would actually have to trade both your Crackling Razor Maw and the Hyena in. So I don't even know if that's good. But I don't know how much I like the Spellbreaker, because he still has a 4/6 in play, and it's still very much contests the board. Next turn he goes into a high main.
yeah,
This is going to be interesting. This is just too bad, because even with the curve, the Hunter's falling behind.
so he goes and takes out the Crackling Razor Maw here, and even gets
swipe.
enough with the Swipe as well too.
Oh, this is just gorgeous.
So that clears off the whole board once again. And yeah, Mr. Joe Norm is not looking too hot here. He can slam down the Savannah Haymain,
Which I expect to see here.
but that just goes and is countered right with the Jade Behemoth. He's got 2 of them now. He can even run Drake here if he wants to. Is going to decide to go with
I wouldn't be surprised to see
and
Earth and Scales in, run the Curator in, gain that 5 armor,
And then Primordial Drake.
Primordial Drake by your turn.
Yep. And that is the play that's going to happen. So that's going to clear the board
Mr.
again.
Joe Norm is not happy about that. He is not happy about this situation. And as a fellow Hunter player, I have Golden Hunter. Did you know that? I've
I did
never
not.
played Hunter in this tournament.
But you have Golden Hunter.
Fun fact. So before I started playing this competitively, I used to play a lot of Magic. And whenever I was sick of testing with Magic and I needed kind of a break, I'd use some Hearthstone. I'd find whatever the Hunter deck was and I'd play a few games and I'd test, or I would just clear my brain, go back to testing Magic. So I played back in Naxxramas, so this is when Undertaker Hunter was just busted.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It was literally brain dead. You play, again, 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop, 4 drop, except every time you played a creature, it just increased your 1 drop by +1/+1.
It was
I don't know what they were
disgusting.
thinking.
Just
but
disgusting. I remember that meta too, and Hunter was absolutely everywhere.
56% win rate.
Just flat off the
Like,
board. Just
even
out of
mid-range
control.
Shaman didn't get that high, and people were complaining about mid-range Shaman forever. Like, Undertaker Hunter is probably the most broken deck to ever exist in Hearthstone.
Absolutely. I remember I was playing the beta, and he just made the Hunter deck because it was just so cool to like shoot 2 damage to their face. And in vanilla, it was just like that 2 damage was so hard to deal with. You didn't have anything kicking around that was dealing with it, and then it had great minions to sort of get into the mid game. That was back when Mr. Bitey was like all big in the meta.
It's me, Mr. Bitey.
Me and Mr. Bitey. Those guys were just squadding up in every single game I was playing. So, but this board, I mean, Hunter has brought himself back into it with his board presence here while we've been ranting about Undertaker Hunters and all that stuff. He's got himself the Animal Companion with the 4/4, his Galaka Crawler, or not the Crawler, sorry, that's the Hunger Crab, gets
The
up
worst
to a
of the
3/4.
two. In my opinion, that card is just so much worse than anything. But the thing about this board presence is it's going to get swept in one fell motion. 4/6 goes into the 4/4, face goes into the 3/4, 2/2 goes into the 2/2, and 3/6 goes into the 4/3. And now the Hunter is stuck behind 2 taunts with a 1/1 in play, and probably the best draw in his deck,
Swamp King
Swamp
Dread.
King Dread. But I don't even think the Great King Dread is enough to save him.
Yeah,
right
I don't
now.
know. I mean, those Jades are getting bigger and bigger. He's got a Behemoth in hand. He's sitting there with a Jade Spirit in hand. So the more and more this game goes on, the more and more those Jades are just going to keep increasingly getting harder and harder to deal with. And decides not to go with Swamp King Dread here. So now the opportunity comes. Do I just slam down my golems, or do I start with the cycling? And he just decides, you know what, I'm just going to slam those golems down. Hunter can't deal with this. I don't need the cards. I need the minions,
Pickle
and he's
Pants?
got them.
I'm going to make a bold prediction here. I think we're going to game 5.
It's looking that way. Oh, he does get a Volcanosaur, though, as well, too. So Swamp King Dread comes out.
I don't think the Volcanosaur is enough to save him here.
I don't think so either. How much damage does he have in hand here? And he's got another 5/5 right here.
That's the thing, is the Jade Druid doesn't even have to play minions for Swamp King Dread to... I would personally love to see Yogg played here, but he has to find the Innervate in order to do it, and I just don't see him doing it. See, now he just casts spells to bring out the minions,
Yeah.
and Swamp King Dread can't kill it.
Can't do it. There goes the 6/6 right there.
Oh,
Slam
this
down.
Gadgetzan Auctioneer
Oh.
is just going
Oh.
off. This is about as good as Alarid's gonna get.
This
and
is like when
Joe
you're...
Norm is just sitting there, like, wondering... you know what? I'm gonna be a bit of a jerk here. Probably wondering, why did I bring Hunter?
Here's the thing, like when a Gadgetzan Auctioneer gets this kind of turn, I don't know if you've ever seen any of the Fast and Furious movies, but you know when they
Seen all of them.
activate the nitrous oxide, this is what's happening right here.
Nitrous
Like it's
Auctioneer.
just nitrous auctioneer. I love it.
Here we go.
Love it.
Brrr, turbo
Nitrous
through the deck.
auctioneer, Vin Diesel coming out of hand, and it's just not looking pretty for our Hunter here at all.
It's just over. Mr. Joe Norm's gonna play the Volcanosaur, see what adapts he gets. Health and taunt.
Taunt?
Nope.
Nope.
Game over.
Health and attack, so that's gonna.
7
end
mana
it.
8/9 is pretty good.
Not bad.
About as good as you're gonna get. And that's the concede. So we're going to game 5.
Game 5, yeah.
It's 2 aggressive decks, and Mr. Joe Norm is wishing he brought Galactic Crawlers right now because it is mid-range Hunter versus Pirate Warrior, and this is a matchup that heavily, in my opinion, heavily favors Pirate Warrior, especially when you don't have Galactic Crawlers. Galactic Crawler is the one card that can actually swing, and there's 2 decks in the meta that I believe can just run Galactic Crawler for free, and it's mid-range Hunter, and it's Aggro Druid, and it's because they have that Beast tag, so it's not just a 2-mana 2/3 when it's not playing against Pirate Warrior. It's a 2-mana 2/3 with the Beast target. So in Hunter, you have Thunder Rhino, gives it charge. You have Houndmaster, gives it +2/+2 in taunt. You have it dies, it buffs up your Scavenging Hyena. In Aggro Druid, you have Mark of Visharge. You have the Beast synergies. So it's just unfortunate that he doesn't have it, because right now it's a Pirate Warrior versus mid-range Hunter without Kalaka Crawler.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think? If without my...
If I was a betting man,
If you were a betting man.
if I was a betting man right here, I'm going to take probably mid-range Hunter over the Pirate Warrior. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
I think you're wrong.
I think I'm wrong, but you
one
know
of
what?
us is going to be wrong.
It's going to be a betting man, and you know what? I think he's going to
You know
curve it
what?
beautifully.
You're on.
I think he's going to curve it beautifully. We're going to see a fantastic game, and I can't wait to get it started.
This is what I hope more than anything. I hope that the mid-range Hunter has the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 curve. I hope that the Pirate Warrior is on the coin. I hope that the Pirate Warrior doesn't draw patches, and I hope that he has N'Zoth's first mate. Because I'd love to see just a full-out, aggressive, Dukem Nukem fight to the death.
Oh, it'd be great.
Nobody drew crappy.
It'd be
good
absolutely
fifth
great.
game.
You got to hope for it. That's what we hope for here in the SKL. We hope that both of these guys get the best opportunity to show what happens and not get completely RNG'd like pulling the Hex on the Rat Pack. That was
#Yogg.
that was
Crazy Yogg.
RNG's. Oh yeah, Geox Yogg. Remember that one?
Oh. Wah.
So if you didn't see it, he has a Yogg to bring him back into the game. He drops it down.
His only chance.
His only chance. Instantly gets hexed.
10 mana Hex.
Just gone. Just off the board. That's the end of it. So we'll have to see. It looks like the Pirate Warrior is going to be not on the coin this one. Does have an upgrade. Does have the Naga Corsair and the Fiery War Axe.
That's a keep the fiery win axe.
Yeah.
I hope you draw a 1-drop.
And then the Hungry Crab, Scavenging Hyena, Kindly Grandmother, and the coin coming
I don't
out
see
from
the
Mr.
fourth
Joe
card.
Norm.
I'm not sure why.
Yeah, I don't know what's
I think
going on
we'll
with
just
that
have to
one
wait
as
for the
well too.
mulligans, but I see a Hungry Crab, a Scavenging Hyena, a Kindly Grandmother, a coin.
Oh, I think you get the coin. You
but
get
I
the
don't
card after the
see-
mulligan.
I'm not Oh, it's Jewel Macaw. We have just got confirmation from our eyes in the sky. He kept the upgrade.
Hello.
That's interesting to me. I would not keep the upgrade.
So he's drawing into all weapons here, and Hunter's got a really, really good curve.
The series.
So Jeweled Macaw might come out here, might run out the Crab as well, might choose to run out.
I would go to Macaw.
Yeah. So Macaw route comes out, and he's going to coin it out into the Crab as well.
Okay.
So there we go. So honestly,
I don't hate that.
I'm kind of giving early game advantage to our
This feels pretty
Hunter.
even right now.
It feels even. It feels even. Maybe a slight advantage to our Hunter, dropping down the Kindly Grandmother here. And we'll have to see if he is going to have a way to deal with
Probably
that.
gonna see a Tempo Bloodsail Cultist come out just for the body.
It might just do that and just wait for upgrade next turn, to be honest.
Yeah, I wouldn't swing face here just yet. I would, actually, yeah, no, I wouldn't be swinging here just yet. I'd be waiting. But I would definitely be running the Bloodsail Cultist out.
Yeah,
oh, he's
and
got
he gets patches too.
Duh.
Yeah.
So
That's-
we're gonna run
yeah,
the
that's a
1/1 into the
no-brainer.
Kindly Grandmother. I forgot patches existed.
War Axe
He's going War Axe
3/2?
face?
No,
Okay.
no.
Good.
Animation error.
Oh.
Ooh.
Gave me a little bit of heart attack.
Oh.
So I go, Lord, did you not learn anything?
That would have been bad. So yeah, your advantage to the Pirate Warrior is coming into full fruition here, because that's going to trade, I mean, really well into that cut list right now.
I would be trading into the cut list. If you're going to play the Scavenging Hyena here, you have to make it so that way that cultist trades with the Scavenging Hyena, or else it's just a tempo 3/4 into the 2/2 and nothing else happens. So
He can't upgrade. So.
no, Kor'kron Elite is perfect here. You run the 3/3 into the Scavenging Ooze and you go Kor'kron Elite into the face, and then you start prepping Arcanite Reaper charges into that dome. Upgrade. Captain Greenskin is a lot of damage.
But a kill command coming out, that is going to favorably trade there a little bit. But yeah, Captain Greenskin can slam this down right now, or can slam down his Arcanite Reaper.
First,
It just get the
Captain
damage
Greenskin
going.
next turn.
Yeah.
Just
So draws those weapons, and those weapons aren't going now into minions, they're going into face. And that's where Pirate Warrior...
You see face, me go face.
When Pirate Warrior gets to do that, it's not good.
No, it's not. But, so this is the scary part. I would be playing the Tundra Rhino. Actually, hold on. No, he's right. The Battlecry Adapt is good here because you can get the health and he gets it. 4 mana, 5/7. Play that
huge,
every game.
Huge on him. So the Naga Corsair is going to come out, but he can upgrade it. He can get rid of it.
He can.
He can Corsair
It's
it
still
and
5 to the
upgrade
face,
it.
but he needs to get rid of it. And then, so this is the problem with using your face's removal. He's going to run his face into the 5/7. He's going to go down to 20. Then, Joe Norm's going to play Scavenging or Savannah Highmane. And if he doesn't run his face into the Savannah Highmane, he's going to take 6. Even if he does, he's going to take 6. That's already him down to 14.
He might even just go all face. To be honest, is he going to grab it and upgrade it? Is he trading into it? Yeah, he will trade
He's trading
into it.
into it.
So yeah, that's another 5 damage onto his face right here. Savannah Highmane's going to come out. That's going to get traded by the Greenskin.
I'm thinking more and more about this. I don't know if you can control the board against Hunter. Like, you have 21 damage equipped. The only card you're worried about is Houndmaster, and you just drew a Spellbreaker. I start jamming. Oh, that is a beautiful draw.
The one card.
So, to save face, you play the Bloodsail Cultist. I think you run your 5/4 into the Savannah Highmane, and you run 8 damage into the face.
Yep.
And this Hunter looks like it's going to get swept, because it lost against the Shaman, right?
Yeah, it got swept.
So, this Hunter got swept?
Hunter got swept this one, so deciding, does he go face?
I would just trade. The only way you lose, you already played your Spellbreaker, is Houndmaster. He decides not to.
He's going to get a Houndmaster out.
To be honest with you, even with the Houndmaster, I think this game's over.
Yeah.
There's 12, 17, 20 damage.
And he's got the 8 damage in his hand right now.
The Houndmaster goes up to 7. The Hunter's at 8.
Yeah, it's over.
Even, yeah, you can trade. So hold on. So we said 20.
Yeah.
We have 8. We have 7. That's 15. We get rid of 4. That's 19. Still game over.
Yep. Tried his best, but the 3/4 is in. Even gets a pirate anyway.
Our first semi-finalist.
Our first semi-finalist, yeah, it's going to be Alarid. A bit of an upset, of course, because Mr. Joe Norm went, I believe it was 13-1. 13-1 in our regular season. So that is going to spell the end of his start. Spellbreaker.
Yeah, congratulations to Alarid. He's now going to go to the winner's match, and Mr. Joe Norm is now waiting for the second person between myself and Inoshishi, which is going to happen right away. The loser of that goes down and plays Joe Norm, and that'll be the third match. So coming up next, we're gonna talk with Alarid. We're gonna see how things are going. We're gonna pull another caster in here to kind of just discuss how the games went. We're gonna cut to a short break. We're then gonna go to myself versus Shishi. The loser of that is going to play against Mr. Joe Norm in the losers match, and that'll be the match right after. It'll either be myself or Shishi. Mr. Shishi is right there, and I'm going to look him right in the eye when I say, I really, really hope it's not me. So, but we'll see.
We'll see. So we will come right back.
Nope,
we will.
I think we're grabbing Alarid right away.
We'll grab Alarid here right away. We'll take a quick break. We'll grab Alarid. We'll get the mics all set up and ready to go. When we come back, we'll chat with Alarid, and then on the way, we've got Edge versus Inoshishi. It's going to be a great one. Don't go anywhere.
We'll be right back.
I feel out of place. The roads aren't the same like they were when you were the one driving my car, and now I just count the waves of our yesterdays as I go on the 101 highway, and it's taking me back to the start. We lost everything. We lost everything, but you'll always stay close to my heart. We lost everything. We lost everything, but you'll always stay close to my heart.
Here at Aspect Virtual Reality Gaming Studios with Alarid, our winner of the 3-2 matchup. How do you think that went for you?
It went pretty well. The massive weapon at the end really helped pretty well.
Yeah, no kidding. 10-3 to the face is about as happy as you want. Now, I have a quarrel with you, and I've talked to you about it when we played the match. You played Pirate Warrior as Magni.
Well, it's a great meta choice. They sit there, they look at it, they think, oh, he's probably playing Quest, he's probably playing some kind of control thing, and then just Pirate.
Mind games. Mind games.
Garrosh, swinging face with the weapons.
Bringing out the
most
flavor text.
satisfying thing in the game, and you chose to go with the dwarf.
So you.
I'm disgusted. Anyway.
So you decided to ban the mid-range shaman in this matchup. What were your thoughts on that?
Mainly, I didn't want to have games boil down to whoever got the biggest Jade Golems. And for him, Spirit Echo, twice, 2-3 times, having the same minion played over and over, that could easily outclass even like a normal Druid build. Because, I'm limited by how many spells I draw and all that. Well, he'd just go, oh, I played this out earlier before, I'll get a bigger guy. Just too fast. But other than that, the rest of the list, I felt pretty confident that the Pirate Warrior could probably just outrace him. It's made to beat control, so I wanted a big control list.
And how happy were you when you pulled the Hex on his Houndmaster Rat Pack?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, we were sitting there, that turn 3 when you were playing Shaman against Hunter, I was expecting you to run your guy into the Rat Pack to create the Lightning Storm field, and you chose not to, any Houndmaster. What was your thought process going through that turn?
I was looking at it thinking, well, if I blew it up, then he'd be able to Houndmaster and still have a 3-3 and 1-1, so it'd be the same amount of power, but I'd also be 2 mana less. Right. So even if I drew a Hex or something, the next following turn, all I'd be doing is dealing with 1 threat.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. Well, congratulations. You are off into the winner's bracket, and we do have Mr. Joe Norm moving down to the loser's bracket, and that is now going to bring up Edge versus Inoshishi. When we come back, we are also going to bring Carter and Chris into the broadcast booth right here. We have a fireplace. This is so cool. There's a fireplace here at Aspect.
It's actually Hearthstone right now.
This is Hearthstone right now. Look at our table. I feel like we should have ale right here. It should just be a big party. Anyway, when we come back, I don't know. Let's find out. When we come back, Edge versus Inoshishi.
And we may or may not have ale when we come back.
Right here on SKL Hearthstone at Aspect Virtual Reality.
You were the sun and the moon. some smoke to breathe and leave the city. Live by the light of falling stars. We're in slow motion when you hold me. Nothing seems to move. Roll with the ocean, higher and higher. Watching the waves, sipping on Chardonnay. Hey, hey. You got me watching the waves, sipping on Chardonnay. You got me watching the waves, sipping on Chardonnay. You got me watching the waves, sipping on Chardonnay. Floating with no message in a bottle, where we're going. No, we don't wanna be found tomorrow. Tell the city that we're not coming home tonight. We're in slow motion when you hold me. Nothing seems to move. Roll with the ocean, higher and higher. Watching the waves, sipping on Chardonnay. Hey, hey. You got me watching the waves, sipping on Chardonnay. You got me watching the waves, sipping on Chardonnay. You got me watching the waves, sipping on Chardonnay. Sipping on
Yeah, I'm lost and numb, cold to the touch. I pretend like I don't remember your name. Every masterpiece turns to blasphemy. When I close my eyes, yeah, I still see your face. We were the thunder and the lightning, burning fire started from a spark. I would spend you just to watch you twirl. It was us against the world. You were the rain falling on my skin. Yeah, I was dying when you pulled me in. I was your rebel and you were my girl. It was us against the world.
everyone, and welcome to the SKL Season 3 Hearthstone Championships here at Aspect vs. Reality. I am Silky Mittens, otherwise known as Carter, joined by Chris, Monstrosity. How's it going, Chris? How do you feel to be here casting the finals today?
Very excited, Carter. Very long time coming, and stoked to see some more Hearthstone.
Absolutely. Well, we got a good one for you guys. You just saw Allard versus Mr. Joe Norm, of course, going to the 5 games. Allard taking it 3-2, but we've got another good one here. It is going to be the first seed from Group B versus the second seed from Group A. It is, of course, Edge versus, Shishi. So let's just talk about this matchup. Player-wise, we know the deck lists of both these players, so nothing's a surprise. Just going into this one, Edge is the higher seed. Do you think he has it kind of in the bag, or do you think there's a lot that Inoshishi can do to maybe get the upset, if you'll call it that?
Definitely can't say at this point that anybody has it in the bag. I like the way Edge plays. He's got a lot of intimate knowledge of the game. I think he's friends with Inoshishi, so I'm sure he knows the decks he plays. So sure it's vice versa.
Yep.
I would give the edge to Edge.
The edge to Edge.
Just being the higher seeded player, and but let's see what happens. RNG plays a big factor always.
Right. Absolutely. We do know the bans for both of these players. Edge is going to ban the Jade Druid away from Inoshishi, and Inoshishi is going to ban the Murloc midrange Paladin from Edge, not wanting to face that. It is teched pretty heavily, I think, towards Druid. It's got a lot of things that can kind of stymie what I guess just what Inoshishi kind of brought with his lineup. But just going through the decks that are available, we do have the Miracle Rogue, Control Mage, Control Priest on Inoshishi's side, and then Edge bringing the Token Evolved Shaman, Control Mage, Taunt Warrior on top of that Murloc Paladin. Do either of these lineups surprise you at all? Anything standing out at all when you first initially look at these lists?
Nothing too surprising. I always find it interesting that Edge chooses to play the Taunt Warrior over the Pirate Warrior.
Right.
Pirate Warrior is it's higher in tier. It's known to be a good finisher. I do like Taunt Warrior, but it can lose to things like Token Shaman. What do we got here today? Miracle Rogue could beat Taunt Warrior, but once he gets those taunts up and he starts doing those 8 damage hero powers, it's a good thing. So in the control matchup, I definitely give Taunt Warrior the plus. I like that he banned the Jade Druid from Inoshishi, because that definitely would counter his Taunt Warrior. All right, so we're moving right on into it.
We're moving right into it, and it is going to be that Taunt Warrior from Edge, and as well, the Control Priest going to come out on the side of Inoshishi here. Harrison Jones, of course, being in 3 of his decks today. So a lot of Harrison Jones coming up from Inoshishi, and on the side of Edge, I mean, he's playing Taunt Warrior, so the weapon not as integral, so Harrison Jones not going to find as much, I guess, value in this matchup as opposed to Pirate Warrior. Also, another thing that surprised me about Edge not playing Pirate Warrior is because consistently in Season 2 finals, he was like, I just want to go fast, I just want to be aggressive, I just want to make sure that they don't have enough time to think about it because I'm just smashing them in the face. And here, he's bringing a lot different of a lineup. The mid-range, the control, I guess Token, Shaman, really the only thing that's aggressive from him. So maybe that is a little bit more surprising, that he's kind of switching up his play style.
Yeah, we can definitely see. It could just be his evolution of play style as a
That's
player.
Right. He's just changing, man.
Yeah.
He can evolve. What's his final form? When are we going to reach it,
He's played the fast-paced game. Now he's about the long games.
Well, with the Taunt Warrior, he has drawn his 3-drop taunt, whether it's Stonehill or Tar Creeper. You kind of don't want to go wrong there. One thing to note with the Taunt Warrior coming from Edge, he has expressed to me, he talked about it in our kind of silky sit-down that we had the other week, he really, really dislikes Dirty Rat. So he's not running Dirty Rat at all in anything. According to him, he feels that it loses him more matchups than it wins. The only time it really becomes kind of good for you is when you're drawing out some of their combo pieces or something along the lines of a quest thing. Like, it was actually pretty decent into the quest rogue, right? Because you just pull out their bounce effect, kill that minion, or pull out the minion that they're trying to bounce, kill it so they don't get anything towards the quest, and they're kind of stuck there. But since the nerf to quest rogue, you kind of see Dirty Rat not being as important anymore, and Edge thinks likewise. He's not going to include it in any of his lists, especially the Taunt Warrior here. We did see the Power Word Shield coming on to the Northshire Cleric. Pretty strong opening from both players. Edge going to run into a little bit of a gap here, but he's got the Fiery War Axe.
Yeah, we're going to see another Tar Creeper come down, I think, here. A little bit of a mirror. Let's hope he can get some of those heals off to start drawing some cards. Oh, looks like our screens have gone.
Our screen is black, and now we're back. And boom, just like that, we got it. It's going to be just the Fiery War Axe turn here. Not really much else he's going to do. He's going to actually swing this turn. Maybe just going to take it down over the course of 2 turns. Going to be 6 health taken away from him, but lots of armor. He actually also has a shield block, which is kind of interesting because in today's Taunt Warriors, you don't really see the shield block as much. And if you're going to include the shield block, usually you include shield slam as a part of your removal, but he doesn't have shield slam. He just has normal slam. So that's kind of interesting to me that he chose to go for the shield block without the shield slam.
Yeah, I think so too. I wonder what his thought
motive.
process
I'm not
was
sure.
there.
I guess just valuing the armor, right? Because
Yeah.
I mean, slam and shield block both give you a card. It's just shield block is going to give you the armor, and slam's going to give you that 2 damage removal, right?
Yeah,
So
correct.
so he's going to swing here onto the Tar Creeper over the course of 2 turns with that Fiery War Axe, just going to armor up here. We do have a turn 5 Lyra if he really wants it, or if he wants to maybe build up his late game, throw that Elise, get that Pack of Unguro in there. I mean, he's got a couple different things that Shishi can do, but you've got to anticipate that over the course of turn 5 through 7, there's going to be some really tough minions to deal with through the way of Ali Armorsmith, Curator at turn 7, Direhorn Hatchling as well at turn 6. So you kind of got to prepare yourself for these minions that might need to be taken care of before they cause too much havoc with your health total. I mean, the 3/6 minions, he actually picks up the Direhorn Hatchling here. He's going to play it. It's just those over the course of a couple turns can really just take over the control of the board.
I like that he got Unguro Pack in because he's going to want to Shadow Visions there and
get the double pack.
Get the double pack, and that's just a war of attrition there.
Yes.
So, what is he going to play here?
Well, he could. He's just going to go for the card draw here. Yeah, he's just going to go for the draw. See what he gets. He does have the Radiant Elemental, Curious Glimmerroot, of course, just to draw the card. He could have, if he really wanted to, try to interfire, make the trade into the hatchling a little bit better.
Ooh,
these are
hard.
unfortunate. I think you just got to go.
I've never actually seen somebody lose this part of the card. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry. My bad. I was gonna say it's an easy choice.
Yeah.
But I just was looking at those and I was like, none of those really feel good for Inoshishi to get anyway. So it's not even if he loses it, I would have been, too upset.
Yeah.
But the
definitely see not the Knuckles, but and then it wouldn't be.
And
the
it's
weapon.
not it's because it's not Pyro Warrior,
Yeah.
right? So that was an easy guess. It's just and Ravaging Ghoul's not going to do a whole lot for him.
Should be easy for us. We can see the opponent's hand and Ravaging Ghoul's in it.
Exactly. That was a layup for the Curious Glimmerroot. But now, to Edge, he's got a couple of options here. He does have Sleep with the Fishes with the Ravaging Ghoul to clear the entire board here, and he's going to trade in the Hatchling as well. That's going to survive through the Sleep with the Fishes. So actually, the Ravaging Ghoul going to come through a little bit here, and it's going to clear the Hatchling at least, right? So that's got to be good.
You almost just got to start dropping things like.
I think you just draw Priest of the Feast here with the Ravaging Ghoul. I mean, you just
wouldn't be a bad play.
Yeah, get some bodies on board. They're not super important. I mean, if any of them survive, you've got the Talon Priest, and then all of a sudden you got that high health minion, especially if it's Priest with the Feast, and you've got the combo pieces in hand. At least you've got the Inner Fire. Divine Spirit needs to be picked up for the true combo to come into effect, but still, that's something that Edge has to worry about, possibly lose an execution to, and then you kind of open up Lyra to remain on board for a couple turns.
You definitely want to hope for the Infinite Lyra, or next to Infinite Lyra. If you can get 2 of these Radiant Elementals out there, you're pretty much golden.
Just cycling through till you find a spell that's relevant.
Yeah, well, and you just keep getting spells. The problem right now I think he'll run into is he has not enough space in his hand.
Yeah, that's the one thing. That's the one issue. Yeah. I think, it's going to be the Ali Armorsmith here. It's kind of going to be pretty simple. Trade the Ravaging Ghouls across. Now is a time you might want to start thinking about maybe trying to get this Priest of the Feast at least looking like it might be a legitimate target for an execute. You kind of want to bait it out, right? Because you've got your important cards like the Lyra. So you want that to survive as long as you can if you really need to get that cycle through the spells. So I think you just start threatening the fact that, okay, this might be interfired at some point, and it might become dangerous enough to execute. You don't want to go too wide, of course, because the brawls. So you also want to make the brawls feel really bad on the side of Edge. You only have a couple minions out there, and they're super strong, but that just doesn't feel good for brawl.
Yep, and it's a little bit of RNG with brawl. So
yes.
I mean, if you can keep, it feels bad to do when the enemy only has 2 minions out. So you almost want to stay around that time, play around brawl that way. but it's hard to contest all the taunt minions that way as well. See, I think we'll see Brawl now that he played Lyra.
I think so. I mean,
Yeah.
especially, but the thing is also, I mean, there's a 50% chance.
Oh, I got the pack.
He did get the pack.
He
There's-
could also Potion of Madness if he wanted to.
He could Potion of Madness, but I don't know.
Might be a
Just for
waste.
the cycle, yeah, it would kind of be a waste. He could use it at a
Okay.
more effective time. He's going to go for the 6/6 here. Oh,
Those are good
he's
draws.
going to get Divine Spirit from Lyra. That is definitely really good.
Yeah, you almost have to Brawl. I mean, you could execute, but you're still leaving
almost
a lot
have to
up.
Brawl, but you're not going to. I think he's just going to play the Drake here, actually. He's going to take care of the Priest of the Feast, but the Lyra's still kicking.
Yeah, they got a lot more
So he's
spells
going
to
to get
go.
at least one more turn with that Lyra doing the damage via spells.
I would love to see the pack, but he doesn't have enough space in his hand.
Doesn't have enough space, so I think you just got to take, I don't know, buff up your Lyra and trade it, I guess.
Could do that.
Buff up your Lyra with the Talon Priest, Inner Fire, Divine Spirit, heal,
Yeah.
right?
And you get more spells along the way.
Get more spells along the way, exactly, and
Yeah.
then you can trade it along with the Radiant Elemental.
Little does he know he's got.
Ooh, he's actually going to purify the Talon Priest, I believe. So he's actually going to get the additional draw, and he picks up the Acolyte of Pain as well.
He does have execute, so we'll probably see that on Lyra coming down
Yeah.
pretty quick.
Just the good thing is, I mean, this isn't kind of an easy execute,
Yeah.
which is, unfortunate that he's going to lose the Lyra, but he's also gained so much value off that. He's got the 1 mana Ngoro pack in hand as well, so it's not like he's going to run out of options unless he totally whiffs on the 5-card draw.
Eight cards in hand right now,
Yep.
so he doesn't have enough space for the pack.
Doesn't have enough space. He's just going to trade just the Lyra, maybe even.
Oh, I love how he healed the Lyra. So now he's got to find he's either got to use attack or whirlwind or something to damage it now. That's a good play.
Yeah, I think you're just going to... I don't know, this is tough. I think he's going to go for the trade here. He's going to go for the execute as well. I don't think he whirlwind on top of this.
Yeah.
I think you just, play down the taunt, armor up here.
What I like is he's playing a very reactionary game right now, and he's run out of cards. Like once he runs out of removal, I mean, Inoshishi's got almost infinite like stuff
Resources,
here,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like he could keep drawing more packs.
Well, that's kind of why I'd like to see Shishi pull the trigger a little bit, play a little
Yeah.
bit aggressive here, try and take control of the board and force Edge to have the answer. Because if you use like a couple your Divine Spirit Inner Fire combination here, you're not, like you said, he's got a lot of resources in hand. He's not going to run out of that stuff, so might as well use some of it and try to take over the board, start snowballing this, and hopefully, Edge is able to pick up the answers. He's got 1 Brawl in hand, but I mean, force him to start using some of this removal and then hit him with the 1 mana Ngoro pack. He's still got another in his deck. So I think just start pulling the trigger on this, be aggressive, and take over the game.
Okay, so he buffs up the attack. He could Shadow Word Death it. I think that's probably what will end up happening there.
Yeah, because there's not really any...
He-
the thing about Taunt Warrior is there's literally no other good Shadow or Death targets.
Yeah, he was either gonna Potion of Madness it or Shadow Word Death it.
Yeah, Direhorn Matriarch is like the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, so probably got to trade into this too.
Yeah, I think you just double trade here.
And I mean,
Just
just
gonna go for the heal.
Yeah,
He's
well,
gonna be pretty conservative with this, right? He still has too many cards to play on Ngoro pack.
yeah.
I think you got to go Bloodhoof here. It's just a high value minion. He's
Yep.
gonna go right back onto the board, armor up,
7
and he's
and
got
7.
he's got a Sulfuras.
He's got a Sulfuras. I mean, that'll come in handy.
Oh, definitely.
10 armor. And he's going up to 12 armor,
Yeah,
and then the Sulfuras will come on next turn.
yeah, definitely. He'll armor up, Sulfuras, and then hit that deal 8. So Inoshishi's really got to get control of this board, make it so that there's a lot of targets for the hero power to come out.
And you know what? Sulfuras belongs in a museum.
Exactly. Oh yeah, well exactly. It doesn't unfortunately erase the
Effect of it,
effect,
but
but it's not going to be. There's not going to be no weapon. I don't think Edge will be too sad about that. But I think you just got to start putting threats out there as Inoshishi. You've got a lot of options here. I think you got to trade the Acolyte of Pain into the Bloodhoof. I don't know. He could do lots of things. Dragonfire Potion is an option as well, right?
you almost want to use Dragonfire.
I think
mean,
you trade it. And use
you honestly
Dragonfire.
need to get. You don't need any more draw. You
No.
do not need more draw. I'm even hesitant to use Harrison because he doesn't need any more draw. So I would trade it into the 2/6 and Dragonfire Potion. And how many cards does he have in hand?
Well,
6,
and even to
9.
just get rid of the
So
Potion of
he'll-
Madness,
he'll
right?
be fine. He'll be fine if he gets rid of that.
Yeah. If you wanted to get rid of the Potion of Madness to free up space in his hand, I wouldn't even be opposed to that, right? Because you
kidding.
take the Stonehill, and then you do the 1 damage that way instead of double drawing with your Acolyte. But Radiant Elemental is actually a huge pickup as well, because getting these pieces out for low cost mana is able to
gonna
free
die.
up the hand space.
It'll die to Sulfurous, but yeah.
That's okay.
He's got too many cards. He just needs to
He's
start
actually
getting rid of
too many
stuff.
cards, and that's a great problem to have. But unfortunately, it can be pretty tricky to navigate around. I think you got to deny the resources here with the Shadowward Pain though in hand. That's kind of a snap judgment. You can't allow Edge to get too many cards to be able to react to the board you want to put out. There's already a chance that Edge doesn't have a Brawl or maybe a second Execute. You want to keep it that way. So I think using the Shadowward Pain here on the Acolyte is very strong to not allow any draw through the Acolyte. He's going to use the Harrison here, so it's going to draw 1 Shadow Visions for a 3rd pack. Is it a reality?
It's gonna be.
Can you afford to though?
Oh, what has he got here?
Is draw a card, Powered Shield. You know what? Shadowward Pain,
Wouldn't be a bad call.
in my opinion. I
lot
think
of
Shadowward
taunt minions are low attack.
Low attack, exactly. You know, the Alley Armor Smiths of the world. He's going to use the 1 Shadowward Pain on the Acolyte here. And I think he's got it, He's going to play conservative, play the Harrison, of course. He's gonna play the RNG game here with the Die Insect. He's gonna hit the Harrison, and he's gonna play that big body taunt minion. Still a Brawl in hand for Edge, but not a whole lot else. Now the Northshire
Doesn't need any more draw.
doesn't need any more draw, but I mean, you just gotta start playing something. I think Priest of the Feast come out, you buff it up, make it a high health minion, start using it as a threat. Make sure it can't die to Die Insect, you know. He's got the combo pieces in hand. I think his hand is so big we kind of can't see the card on the left there, but I think that's a Inner Fire.
Yeah. If we could get enough space in hand to play the
Ungoro
the
pack.
Ungoro pack, that's the goal right now.
Yeah, so do you just double Divine? Would double Divine Spirit be too much though? Would that be overkill?
I would think that no, but he would have to Brawl then, which is probably a good thing, and it's a very low chance that 50-50 that he would kill it at this point.
Also, he could just use the hero power and then clear it with the 4, right? Because he'll be at 12 HP.
No, but if he double Divine Spirits, it'd be
Double,
it'd
double
be a
it.
24. That's what I
Yes,
would do
yeah.
anyway. If you're gonna go in, you might as well go in. Yeah.
Oh, he's actually going to go for the Embrace, and he's going to trade that hero power into the 4/6, which is interesting. I think that's just straight up freeing up space.
Yeah,
I think that's
exactly.
just, he doesn't see himself damaging for 2 mana anytime in the future here.
The slam trade, I think we'll
The
see
shield block
here.
as well is going to get him a little bit more resources, plus that armor total. You got to be keeping an eye on that as well, because that might be a problem for Inoshishi come the future. You might not be able to get through that. He's going to run out of cards eventually, but he does have the double, the double Ungoro pack. But still, you got to put something on the board worth it. I think the double Divine Spirit there would have been.
He's just super worried about
play.
another execute, I
Yes.
believe.
But even then, I mean, you free up space for your Ungoro pack, and you're set. He's going to go for it. He's going to pull the trigger here, and he's actually only going to get 4.
The Vorax.
He's only going to get 4 cards from this pack, and he does get the
There's a spell
4x.
on this minion.
Which is great with the cards he has in hand. Tar Lurker might be just the option here.
I think so too.
It's super strong. It's not going to die to. It's going to die to the hero power, but I mean, just as something that can be a big body in the board, it's essentially a heal for 8 if the hero power runs into it. And even if
lucky.
it doesn't, I think it's still better because got the heals. You can keep yourself alive for the most part. Ooh, Dragonfire Potion as well is going to allow for a full clear if he really wants it. Trade it in hero power Vorax and just get that Vorax out there.
Tough call here. So you like Potion of Madness on the Taunt Warrior, but I mean, or the
Bloodhoof?
Bloodhoof is what I'm trying to say. But he has no way to kill it.
Yeah,
so
exactly. So he does have Shadowward Pain.
he could attack and then kill it with Shadowward Pain. Not a bad call.
Corrupting Mist wouldn't be the worst either, but there is a Whirlwind in hand,
I know.
which isn't going to do a whole lot, to be honest.
We know that he doesn't have an execute, but he's so worried about execute.
I know he is. He seems very hesitant to pull the trigger. A 7 health minion as well. That would be quite the threat to keep that alive for the possibility of the combo.
Corrupting Mist
He's
is
going to play Stormwatcher, Ooh.
Interesting.
So Direhorn Matriarch here. Shadow or Death is enhanced. We can take that down quite handily. I think that's the only minion, I believe, that's left in the deck for Edge. That can be Shadow or Death, so I think that's going to be a snap target for him.
Sure it is.
Those two are going to die.
If he gets oh my god, Shadow or Death, double Divine Spirit Inner Fire, he's dead. I think
He's got the Shadow or the Power Word Shield in hand as well.
Oh, he should have played that first.
I think he's gonna have.
Oh,
He's gonna have 32
this-
times 2, which is 64. So I mean, I think he's gonna be okay here. It's gonna be game here for Inoshishi as he finally finds the option, and it is the Storm Watcher through the way of the Wind Fury.
who would have saw that coming?
Well, he just held on to those the whole time, and in the end, it didn't end up costing him anything. So were we wrong? I don't think so. I
No.
think it could be said that I think that he could have put up that threat earlier, but the Angora pack is what comes in the end.
Alcohol punch comes right in.
In my humble opinion, I think he played it correctly, just because he was afraid of execute. He knew there was an execute. Every fiber of him told him that he could get executed, and he didn't want to leave it up for a turn. I think he played correctly, despite having to wait for the win.
Well, and that's the thing. He could kind of afford to wait. His health total was getting down there, 17 health at the end. I mean, it could have been dicey, but he just had all the answers as well. He kind of had that embarrassment of riches. I know we're probably going to use that a lot because there's so many high-value lists being brought to this tournament, but in the end, it was just finding that Angora pack with the Shadow Visions. You know, didn't have to go digging through it too much to find that. Getting the pieces available, holding on to it all, it just came together for Inoshishi in the end. And Edge, I mean, he played it to the best of his ability, but Taunt Warrior, it's pretty cut and dry. If you draw the answers, you get that quest finished as fast as possible, you try and control the board, just didn't happen.
No kidding. Yeah, well, we'll see if Edge can come back here.
Yeah, absolutely.
In our next game.
Yeah.
We see Inoshishi will have a choice between Miracle Rogue and Control Mage coming up. And Edge, still all three of his available, Token Shaman, Control Mage, and then Taunt Warrior. So we'll go into our next game.
Yeah, I think you got to roll the dice with Miracle Rogue if you're Inoshishi, just because you know your Control Mage can beat anything.
Yeah.
So if Miracle Rogue comes out and manages to get a favorable matchup into the likes of the Taunt Warrior or something like that, then it'll just, you know, if you lose, it's whatever. You can try again, but I think you just got to go for the Miracle Rogue. But it is going to be the Mage into that Warrior here.
Yeah, decides to stay with the Taunt Warrior. Very interesting choice. He's sort of, I mean, his Eater of Secrets is pretty useless against Taunt Warrior. So he'll probably throw that out as soon as he can.
There's another card glitch. There's a card in between Medivh and the Gluttonous Ooze. I feel like we just can't see it.
Yeah, it's just catching up for a moment. It actually just might be. He might just have that many cards, and that just.
He only has 5.
Yeah,
possibly.
So, you definitely want to save that ooze for his Fiery War Axe or his Sulphurous, if you can. But if you have nothing else at turn 3, you might actually have to go with it.
Well, I think just
Ice
you
Block
could
also,
tempo ooze, but I think just Ice Block is fine.
Yeah.
Getting it out there.
You know you're not going to be able to beat him down before he gets the taunt out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The Ice Barrier is in the deck of Inoshishi as well, so to deal with some of that early aggression might be valuable. Playing the Ice Block now, Arcanologist into hopefully an Ice Barrier to try and deal with some of the aggression.
Doesn't seem to want to play Ice Block right now.
He really does not seem to want to play it. Eater Secrets, just play that out for tempo as well next turn, but
yeah. See, I think I like Ice Block right now.
I like Ice. I think it's either Ice Block or Hero Power. There's no merit in Frostbolting right now.
And even taking down 1 armor, like Ice Block, I feel like this is a perfect turn because it's going to last all game. You want to use it when you have the least amount of threats. I think we might have a little bit of a glitch going on right now.
I think we're trying to go out of the spectate and back in. It seemed like we were having a little bit of a bug as they were playing and we weren't seeing them play.
We weren't seeing them play.
So we're just going to take a couple minutes here, but it's going to be an interesting matchup. I think the Control Mage is going to have the edge in this one. If you will. Okay, so a lot of stuff has happened here as we get the Discover out of the way, the Primordial Glyph. I can't really see his board, but I think just Blizzard. I think Pyroblast might be a little bit too late for you as a mage. You kind of need to get tempo of the board early and hope that Edge runs out of resources. Actually went for the Mana Bind, which is
interesting choice.
Very interesting, because what are you going to take? Whirlwind? A 0-mana Whirlwind?
I mean, if you played around it, yes. You might want to save the mana bind for when he's looking at Brawl. When he's looking...
The thing is, like, Whirlwind right now is very possible, so it's like, in a Shishi, you got to think about, so he did play it, so it's like,
He might end up getting a shield block here, which
might get a shield block, which is okay if he feels like he needs the draw, but I mean, that's pretty big risk to take. I just think Blizzard was maybe the better option.
in my opinion as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I guess we'll see how it pays off and what spell he does get. I think it's going to be a shield block, though. Antonitis in hand. Unfortunately, no spells to go along with it, but he just might play it for tempo. At this point, he kind of needs to gain control of the board, and he needs to make Edge worry that the Antonitis might step for a couple turns and turns into something pretty gross. So it is going to be the 0-mana shield block coming through for Inoshishi's mana bind.
Ooh, well, there goes.
Well, Edge, I don't think is too sad about that.
No. What we know, and they don't know, is that he does not have removal right now. Oh, there he got it. Top deck. Top deck.
Top deck RNG. Edge has a lot of minions in his hand. He's got 13 armor already. I don't like to call it early, but this is looking very good for Edge. Just what he's been able to accomplish in the early game. I know I said Control Mage might have the advantage, but with this kind of card draw coming out from Edge and no card draw coming out from Shishi, he's no way to cycle really. He's got the Arcane Intellect now. He's going to opt for the Medivh because he does have the Firelands Portal in hand, so that's going to be a huge tempo swing. But other than that, Inoshishi really needed that draw early to dig through, find some of his burn, and maybe finish out the game early. But now that Edge has as many minions as he does, he's going to finish his quest very quickly. I think this one's just going to maybe run away here from Inoshishi. That feels so bad. Doppelgangster off the Firelands. He's going to run the 5/7 here off the Atiash. But still, that's got to feel bad. The 2/2.
The 2/2.
I think, I'm pretty sure that is the absolute worst draw for 5 mana.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely. Sulfur's going to be finished up here. And he's got a lot in hand. If he really wants to use it, he can...
he could brawl.
He could brawl. I think he's just going to trade the Curator. He actually can't play it this turn. He's going to take out the Doppelgangster, leave the Curator up to be traded.
See, the problem with going against Warrior, Taunt Warrior especially, is now your Alexstrasza is heavily lessened just because of all the armor. So you take him down to 15 health, but he's still full, like essentially.
He's still at 28 health.
28 health. So, I mean, I agree with this play. It was the only time you get a card from your Harrison. So, I mean, going into this, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, you got to intellect and then ping and trade the 5/7 and then let Medivh go face here.
I think so as well. Getting that armor down. It doesn't matter about going face until, you break his armor off, but going face doesn't matter until you Alexstrasza.
Yeah.
Because you're going to take him down to 15 anyway.
Yeah, you just got to peel off that armor like you said, then you take him, do 15 further damage essentially with Alexstrasza. He's going to opt for the Drake here, but I'm honestly not a huge fan. I think that was just, he went for what he kind of felt like he had to do maybe, but this really trades pretty poorly.
Yeah, I mean, I would throw Medivh and then ping into that and throw it on your Alexstrasza, go face.
Yeah,
I mean,
throw it on Alexstrasza, go face. He could draw if he wanted to, but maybe he's not wanting to expend the charges of his Adiash. So I think Alexstrasza is the correct play here. I mean, Brawl, even if he brawls, there's really not a lot of terrible outcomes from that.
Yeah.
There's some big beefy boys on board.
If I were Edge, I'd almost want to kill the 5/1 there on the right before I brawl, because it gives him terrible options as far as what to get out of it. He elects to kill it himself. Very interesting choice. Brawl would be pretty good right now.
Which is sad.
Yeah, it's very sad. He played himself, really.
He really just did play himself.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
Medivh is still alive, but does he have any way to deal with this? He does have the Drake in hand, not enough mana.
Sulfurous, he could attack it himself.
He could attack it himself. I don't think he's going to value his life totals, though, so I think he's just going to play a taunt minion here. Darkhorn Matriarch can't be really dealt with directly. He does have a Volcanic Potion. Oh, Medivh's Valet will essentially allow it to be traded here, but...
You got to play spells. Oh, okay. You want some high-value spells. You definitely want to save
You definitely want to save it for the Power Blast.
Yeah, so... tough.
Ooh, it is really tough. Well, Medivh's Valet allows him to trade this out.
I suppose Mundive's Valley. Yes, would.
Yep.
I would probably. Yeah, that's a good play.
Yeah, I think this is just I mean, you got the Pyroblast. You're gonna get a 10-mana minion and 10 damage to face, or 10 damage if he chooses to go through the taunt. 10 damage to whatever taunt he
You could
puts.
almost throw Ooze out there. Well, I guess if he wants to take out the 1 or 2 Sulfurous, I guess it takes 1 away from Sulfurous.
Yeah.
So elects to save it and ping face instead. Fair enough.
Indeed, fair enough. Armor Smith gonna come through here, so
He's got to be afraid to play Sulfurous, actually, because he's going to lose the armor up.
he's gonna get 2 armor here from this Armor Smith.
Do you want the Pyroblast here? You could go for the Flame Strike and get
Go for the Flame Strike.
a little bit less of a minion.
Yeah, he's gonna end up going for this.
Yeah.
I'll see what he gets. He gets a 7-mana minion, but this is the better option. I think you got to take that Armor Smith off as fast as possible, as well as the LE Armor Smith. You got to limit the amount of armor that he's getting from those 2 cards combined.
Very
He still
bad
has the
7.
Pyroblast, which is really good. That was a terrible 7 drop.
Terrible
though.
7 drop.
That's absolutely terrible.
Goes hand in hand with picking Pyroblast, or picking Flame Strike over Pyroblast, because there really is no bad 10
No,
drop.
I can't even think of one.
No,
Yeah.
the worst you get is a Sea Giant, I think.
Man, that feels so bad for Inoshishi, though. He's had such terrible luck here.
Yeah.
Firelands into this Drake and then trade your Mana Worm, I think, is the best play here.
Yeah, in my opinion, too. Yeah.
He
You might as well
he's
Arcane
gonna look for
Intellect,
draw. Yeah, he's going to look for the...
because you're going that
You never
first.
know. Polymorph as well keeps his Mana Worm alive if he really chooses to.
What would be better? I mean, Direhorn maybe would be better.
Direhorn Matriarch is like the only card polymorphable, I think,
Yeah.
on a bigger scale than the Primordial Drake, is basically whether he wants to expand the Polymorph now or the Firelands Portal.
It's good that he can't play Sulfurous. You're keeping the pressure on too much for him to risk not armoring up.
Yeah.
So that's probably going to sit in his hand forever.
Until he runs out of taunt minions,
Yeah,
essentially, right? Because then
exactly.
he's got no way to deal with the board, so you need that hero power to interact with the board.
Oh, that's a
Ooh,
big-
Groove Master.
It's a pretty good one.
Really good, yeah.
That is a pretty good one.
That's gonna be 6 damage to face alone.
He-
So he's got 10 on board. He's got lethal. Polymorph won't allow it though.
What will he do?
Like he'll have to polymorph the taunt
He'll have 2 taunts on board. So
if he really chooses to. Does he want to? I think he's trying
He
to
might
decide whether or not he
wanna-
wants to go top heavy on this one.
Or-
He might just play the Acolyte.
he could also just execute the 4/2. That's not
Right. If
a,
he feels really under pressure that this Direhorn Hatchling is going to go down
yeah.
without having to force both trades. I guess, I mean, the Groove Master takes it down by itself and doesn't die. Actually, it does die over two
So
attacks.
17 effective health. Yeah. He doesn't quite have lethal, even if there was no taunt minion now. He would die killing the Direhorn. I think he's going to polymorph the Direhorn right now.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. He's going to draw the barrier. He does have one more ice block in his deck, I believe, as well. Actually, no, sorry, it's in hand. He's got the ice block played. It's going to be the Frostbolt onto the Acolyte.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, it's going to deny the draw. He's going to get one card off that Acolyte. It's going to be 6 damage to face by way of the Groove Master. Fire Blast going to go onto the Polymorphed Sheep there.
And the pressure is on.
The pressure is on still. I mean,
He's got to taunt up again.
he's got to taunt up again. He's going to have the Bloodhoof Brave as well, which is going to die.
Saving that Pyroblast for face.
Oh, he's so close. He really is so close.
He is very close.
Yeah, I think you're gonna kill both your minions here, but you just want to get rid of these taunts. I think you got to go Volcanic Potion on this one.
Yeah. So what would he play? He would probably play Grook Fu into both of them,
Yeah, Grookfu into both.
and then he would.
He'd have to ping the Bloodhoof
Yeah,
and then Volcanic. And your Acolytes, I mean your Arcanologist is still alive.
stays up.
Yeah.
Not a bad play.
I've seen worse.
I've seen worse plays.
No, I've seen worse plays. Yeah. But the thing is, Edge is running out of resources. You know, Shishi can see it. He's only got 3 cards. The likelihood that one of them is, just flat out removal. He knows that one is Sulfurous,
Yeah.
so he's thinking like, what is that other card? What's it gonna be? Is anything gonna affect me at this point?
Mm-hmm.
Not really. You know, it's either a minion or removal. But his game plan now is based around spells, not minions. So he
definitely
can't be
wanna
too
ping.
worried about it.
Yeah, he's got a ping
Yep.
here. You're gonna probably see Brawl coming out real quick.
Yeah.
He's got no other choice.
Right. He knows that Shishi's running Pyroblast, so he's playing around that 10 health level. He's going to trade that group food. So he does have the 2 bodies on board. And as of right now, this represents lethal. He's only going to 13. Oh, he does have the ghoul in hand here.
Good play.
Did just pick that up, I believe. Is it
Yeah.
left or right?
Yeah,
okay.
it was a top deck.
Ooh, the execute as well is going to take out this other Chronologist. If he really wants to this turn, he can't play that Sulfuris. He literally cannot play that Sulfuris. I don't think you got to be worried about too many more minions though on the side of Inoshishi. Both Firelands are gone. So yeah, this isn't very executable Arcanologist here. He's going to armor up, bring him to 13, and he's holding on by the edge of his seat.
And he's stabilized. Oh,
Primordial
I
Glyph.
love it. Oh, this is funny.
Oh, terrible draw.
Well, he could draw 2 cards. That's probably what he's got to do.
That's going to be the best one, but I think
Yeah.
the obvious choice was burn. I mean, he wanted to find like a fireball or a second Pyro Blast would have been absolutely terrifying.
So let's see. Shishi, what is he hoping for here? He's got 2 fireballs in deck.
He does have 2 fireballs. Still haven't found any of them.
Still haven't found any of them.
Yeah,
so
so
he's
it's
going
very-
for that.
yeah.
He's got a meteor.
Oh, he actually took Blizzard.
He took Blizzard.
So he's just going to remove these minions, but I don't know why.
I would not have picked that one. Does he have another Firelands portal, or do you use 2?
I think you kind of just don't give a damn about these minions on board.
Yeah.
Like, you don't really need to interact with Edge's minions at all.
No, not in my opinion at all. Is he trying to...
He's not even going to limit the amount of resources being taken out here.
I suppose he's trying to fatigue him?
Oh, is he? How many cards we got left here? It's hard to see.
It's hard to see.
I'm not sure. It's very, very small.
We have our tech scroll over the amount of cards left on the right.
3 cards for
Three.
Noshishi.
And 2
2 cards. Oh, so he's going for the fatigue. He's trying to overdraw him here.
I could see that happening.
Armorsmith, though, there's the high value minions.
And he does have Fireball and... Oh, Meteor.
Meteor. Oh, no.
So you ping and then you... well, you almost...
You have to meteor the Blood Hoof, right?
You do, but you really want to kill off that Armorsmith. Like, you want to stop his armor gain.
Mm-hmm.
And this... Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Oh, so he's gonna deny the armor game, and now he's not gonna give a care about
About minions.
about Bloodhoof. Yeah, he's just gonna run the. I mean, with still 2 ice blocks to go, he's not too scared of getting fatigued at this point. The firework's gonna come out. He's just gonna start swinging face. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this one. I'm gonna say it. This one is over, unfortunately, for Edge. I think he's just ran out of cards.
Yep.
It was the war of attrition, and Inoshishi won it this time.
He did.
Just by being able to control the board, control the amount of minions that Edge was able to play, and this is gonna represent lethal this turn. The Gluttonous used the fireball combination as well, and throwing in the ping, I do believe.
Yeah, it's still...
Still not lethal.
Not lethal.
Still a little bit out, but still.
He's got no way to
Out of
stop
cards.
it happening.
Only removal. Only
Yeah.
Sulfuris.
Might as well...
Is there a hope in hell? I'm actually not sure. You need your die insect to hit face literally every time.
Yeah, he's got to earn, but his fatigue is damage is starting, so
Oh, he's
he's got to
brawl.
win this. He's got to win this brawl.
Come on, baby.
Oh, no!
Yeah, that's gonna be the concede here from Edge, as he is gonna go down 2 games to 0 very quickly on in this one. Inoshishi's Control Mage picking up the win against his Taunt Warrior. Taunt Warrior really not doing it for Edge
Not
so
at all.
far. It's gonna bring him down 2-0 already in the first semifinal of the day. Chris, is that how you saw that one going?
No, I would have seen it going maybe 1-1, keeping more even.
Yeah.
Oh, but do not discount Edge. This happened last time, and he ended up being our champion. And
Yeah, that's right.
He's the underdog from hell. Like, this guy will beat you 3 in a row every time.
Yeah, he did run it back, like you said, for those of you who didn't watch Season 2, which happened in May, actually. He was able to run it back multiple times. Every single game in that tournament went to 5 games, so don't count this one out.
Yeah.
We're still got a few more to go. So, I ask you the question, does he go back to Taunt Warrior for a 3rd time here? Or does he try to pick up just a win? Wins don't really matter in this finals. It's all about just getting those 3 wins,
Yeah.
no matter how you get it. There's no difference between getting 3-2'd or 3-0'd.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just got to focus on winning the series. He doesn't need to chip away wins.
At this point, you're almost worried about... I mean, if his Taunt Warrior loses now, he just shouldn't have included it, because it lost every deck that his opponent had.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we might as well.
Might as well, exactly. He's
Might
got
as
to.
well
He
play
had
it.
to pick up at least 1 win, right? So that is going to be against the Miracle Rogue.
It is, yep. Miracle Road coming up here. We're going to see, Shishi try to make a miracle happen,
Yeah.
and see what Edge elects to go with.
Edge, I guess we'll see. I don't know. Is it time to bring out the Shaman? I think he's got to get something that can really pressure the Miracle Rogue. Something that aggro beats Miracle Rogue.
In this current meta, the only time I feel safe is playing Control Mage. So I might go to Control Mage right now and just know that you're not going to like get boom like in the face.
You're not going to get blown up, right?
Yeah, like there's no fucking 32 elementals hitting you in the face and you dying.
Yeah.
You have ice block, so you're fine. All right.
I think
so,
just token evolve Shaman, in my opinion. You know,
token evolve's not a bad idea. You can definitely get rid of that Gadget Stand Auctioneer with that.
well, it's going to be the Control Mage versus the Miracle Rogue here.
I called it. I did.
You did call it.
Yeah, safe
I will
bet.
say you called it. There you go. This is a little bit awkward though. The thing that kind of happens to you is going to be the Tempo Valet coming out from Edge here. But something that's a little awkward is when you hit an aggressive hand like Valet, Mana Worm, Fireball, but you also have that Doomsayer. It just feels so out of place. Because you're not able to play that, obviously. I mean, it's pretty counterintuitive to your turn 1 Mana Worm. But it's possible removal here for turns 3 through 5. If there's just a Sherazin on board or something like that, throw the Doomsayer and hope that Inoshishi doesn't have the removal for the Doomsayer.
He could coin out his 4 mana. Is it Vilefine? No, that's his 5 mana.
That's
the one that
the Sherazin.
the Sherazin, yes.
Corpse Flower.
The
Sherazin,
Corpse
yeah.
Flower.
Which is a very, very annoying card. He's going to actually take down the Mana Worm here. And I'm going to play the Vanity Leaf. I believe it's only going to be 6/6 if I was keeping track.
I might even
could backstab again.
I might even backstab again. Black's not
Yes,
to.
it's only going to be a 6/6 here, so still quite the threat. Ooh. I was going to say, whoa, we're going to backstab now. I don't think that's correct. But he is going to hold on to the backstab for now. Fireball in hand if he just wants to take care of this.
Looks like he does.
Yeah, and he is just going to keep the tempo up. Just with these low-cost minions are just going to chip away at the face here and maybe allow Edge to catch in the next Fireball to face. He's got the Fireline support as well. Sherazin is going to come down immediately. And it's going to be back over the edge. I think he's just going to trade this one in via ping.
Corpse Flower, definitely.
Oh, he's actually
a good
he's
one.
gonna save his minions here. He's got the Frostbolt in hand. He elects to hold on to his minions. He's just gonna ping for the draw onto his Acolyte, which is correct. He needs to really find some of this burn because 19 health as a rogue, you've got no way of healing, armor, nothing like that. Burn them down just with your early health minions. You've got the Pyroblast, you've got the Fireball, you've got the Firelands portals. Throw those to face, and you've already won the game.
So the question is, does he play 4 cards this turn? And if so, which cards? Because he doesn't want to give the 2 draw to Edge right now. But
Right.
there's really no way around it without playing all 4
Yeah, he's
cards.
gonna have to give the draw. I think
Yeah.
you play the 4 cards here. You go prep and you go fan and you draw some more resources. He really is kind of low on resources right now.
Yeah.
So you've just got to do it. I think there's just no kind of other way around it here.
He really doesn't
He's
want
actually
it.
not going to pull the trigger.
It's 2 more cards.
I know. I think he's really not feeling like. Well, I mean, he already swung with the weapon, right? So he's not going to be able to clear this Acolyte unless he uses the Razor Pedal as
Yeah.
well, right?
And I mean, you could. But you might have to play 3 now.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of overboard, right, for what he
Yeah.
needed for his shares,
I
and
think,
so
I think he's electing not to.
he's
I
going to
think
elect not to this turn.
He doesn't want to give the extra card draw.
Yep.
It looks like he's going to get valeted.
He's
He's going to have his car parked for him.
going to have his car parked with that fire magician monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, 16 health already for Inoshishi, but the thing is, okay, you got to think that's a possibility that your two attack minion gets taken down, so now this Acolyte's going to live anyways, right?
Yeah.
So I think just going for the card draw, getting your Sherazin back on board will allow you to get back into this one. And, I mean, Edge, he's got some really, really heavy cost cards in his hand. He can play the Firelands, but, I mean, just as a mage player, you have Medivh, you have Firelands. The greediness inside you just says you want to Medivh and then Firelands, right? But if you
Yeah.
force him to Firelands before that, he's going to Medivh, maybe not run into any spells that he can use right away to make use of the Adiash. But right now, he just doesn't feel forced to.
The tempo swing behind a Medivh and then a Firelands the next turn is just
The swing is just
so hard to deal with.
unreal. Yeah, it's
To
absolutely
have
unreal.
a free 5 and a free 7 going on.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, you just got to kind of go for it here. You got to go Mana Worm, you got to go Prep Fan. You have to start doing something to get your board back, get the Sherazin back up, and get some more drop because you really need something. You need to run into some Arcane Giants or get that Auctioneer to start cycling through your deck here as Inoshishi.
In my opinion, good players sometimes always look for the perfect play and actually refuse to make a good play until they have the perfect play, and sometimes that's a mistake.
I know it's most times a calculated risk. There is a small card pool for Edge's hand right now as it stands.
Like, look at that. He gets the 2 draw anyway. He's going to have 2 draw, and
Probably a glyph as well, so if he needs another piece to try and deal with whatever Inoshishi might have, or just look for burn straight up. I don't think you're afraid. I don't think you take Ice Block. I think you just go for the tempo Firelands.
I think so as well.
I mean, get 2 Firelands off your Adiash. Yeah, I think you're feeling pretty good about it, and he's going to take the Firelands.
Yep, we will definitely see a Medivh come down.
And if he really feels threatened, he's got Alex Straza. Right? Alex Straza is no longer useful against Inoshishi, because Inoshishi won't be healed above 16 anyways. So that's just going to be... It's gonna be looking really good for Edge, and I think Inoshishi just the reluctancy to pull the trigger earlier is what really is gonna cost him.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Do you even go double fan of knives here? Just for the draw?
You gotta do something, because right now your tempo is just way behind. You can't even play a minion this turn. You can't. And next turn, Adiash is coming out. The turn after that, probably Alex Straza. Well, maybe not, because you're already at 16. So you might see like Firelands to the face after that, and you're really behind.
Yes, the board is you can't deal with it as a rogue.
Yeah.
Rogue has no hard removal for just no AoE whatsoever.
So right now we'll see that Vile Spine come out probably and kill Medivh, in my opinion.
But the thing is, you got the Firelands. Okay, so with reduced card cost, is it going to be a 5 mana minion coming off Firelands?
Yes, but he'll probably use his more expensive one to get the 7.
I think just right away, right? Yeah.
So he'll do that to the Vile Spine.
I feel so bad that Shares still hasn't been resurrected yet.
Right?
It just feels like a shame.
It feels like you should have done it.
Has Auctioneer in hand now, so we can start cycling next turn if he isn't dead. It's just going to be the Flame Strike. 7 mana minion coming out here. Oh, the 7/5 with stealth. Oh, and that is game?
I mean, not 7, 5, 14. He's got 2 left.
Oh no, because you've got the weapon
5,
and
6,
you've got
7, 8. Oh yeah,
you've got the weapon
dead.
and you've got ping, right? So it doesn't really matter.
Well, and he can use his 5 mana Firelands and then his Frostbolt.
He's got Frost. That's not Frostbolt. Oh, he does a Frostbolt.
Yeah, he's dead. This is game.
This is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Ooh, no, still, you need to get rid of the 7/5, but there's no way to with the Vile Spine Slayer, so this one is going to be game here.
Just
Edge going to start clawing his way back.
For the lulls, he finally resurrects his Corpse Flower.
Yep. Just for the heck of it.
For the heck of it.
Yep.
Should have done that 5 turns ago.
Really should have. I mean, I just think, right, you got to wait for the perfect play, but for Miracle Rogue, is there a better play?
Nope.
Like, that's a super feels good play to resurrect your Shares and the turn after it comes up. You're drawing really effectively. I don't know. I just feel like there was no better play to be made in the future.
Nope.
I guess the thing he was banking on was just an Auctioneer to be drawn the next turn.
You'd think so, I guess.
Or the next 3 turns, because he still hasn't, resurrected Shares until now.
He knows it's over, in my opinion. He's just playing all his cards now.
Especially with that 7 mana minion. I mean, that's
9 health.
Yeah, Ravenhold Assassin is going to do it here with the Frostbolt and the Fireball. It's going to be Edge picking up a game. So is this the beginning of the comeback? Inoshishi has to find a win with this Miracle Rogue. He still has to play against the Token Evolved Shaman. And he's got, Taunt Warrior is probably the best matchup for the Miracle Rogue.
Probably. It's interesting that he decided not to play it now. I think it was just sort of trying to get out of the mindset of loss with it.
Yep.
So he'll play it a little bit later on, and it'll be coming fresh.
You know what I love the most? Your shirt.
Right? It's alive. It's almost like it's a disco shirt.
It's a disco shirt. I'll take it. It's looking good. So do you think it's going to be the Taunt Warrior or the Token Evolved Shaman, or do you think you gotta win? Obviously, with all of the decks, it's what your opponent is going to play Miracle Rogue. So it's a matter of does he want a harder matchup now, or does he want the harder matchup later?
Yeah. See, I would go with the easier matchup now.
So you play Shaman.
I think Taunt Warrior would actually be easier.
Really?
Yeah. Than Shaman, and I would play your taunt now, get it out of the way. I like to get all the easy ones out of the way, and then you're up. Now I just have to win.
You're on the
with this
upswing. You got the momentum.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, if he's fresh enough, if he's gotten it out of his mind that he's lost with this deck, maybe he'll bring it back right now.
I don't know. I guess we'll see. He's a very emotional player as well. He's got the ups, he's got the downs. He's able to bring his way back up. So his mental fortitude is there. But Inoshishi, he's got to feel a little bit of the pressure now.
Yeah.
You know, he had it. I wouldn't say in the bag. Obviously, it's Miracle Rogue, a pretty tough deck to find wins with sometimes. I do think he waited a little bit too much on resurrecting the shares in that game. Might have switched things around, got some tempo back. But is there a little bit of a creep in the back of his mind, like, oh, he's coming? Is that a reverse sweep? I don't want to be, reverse sweep on national television on Twitch TV.
The curse of Edge is like what I call it.
Exactly.
You'll beat him twice in a row, and now you're super scared because he always comes back.
He always comes back, exactly. But I mean, that does take some of the pressure off of Edge, right? He's like, oh, people might be scared, and I've done it before, so it kind of takes a little bit of the pressure off your back and puts it onto the other guy.
All right.
Shishi gonna be running that Miracle Rogue, of course, and it is gonna be the Token Shaman.
He likes to go with the Shaman.
And look at the draw on this Shaman. Double Primal Fin, got the Jade Claws, got the Firefly. He's on the coin as well. Yeah, that just spells tempo to me. I mean, you could go double Primal Fin if you really wanted to. I think that'd be a little bit of overkill, but he's gonna just coin out the second Flame Elemental here.
Definitely a good choice to go with the Flame Elemental on the Firefly. He trades very well. He can't do anything. He's going to trade, and that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I would probably even then go Jade Claws and trade it again.
Yeah, you just take the tempo off the board, right? You
Yeah.
go into the Lasher, and you just trade your elementals, and they're going to survive, right? So I mean, it's only weak to Fan of Knives. Like, this board is super weak to Fan of Knives, but if he doesn't have it, you've got quite a bit of tempo. Maybe even totem up next turn. He doesn't really. I guess he'll Primal Fin, but if he totems up and lands healing, like, that'd be super buzzkill as well.
If I was Inoshishi, it's an interesting play.
I think Lotus Agent's too heavy. It would be nice to discover a card that you need, but I think just Hot Springs.
Yeah.
The heal plus the 2/4 taunt is super nice in trying to mitigate some of the tempo that Edge would be putting onto the board at this point in the game. Yeah, it's going to be the Snap Primal Fin here. No surprise there. Does have Devolve, not Evolve, with his Doppelgangster combination. As soon as he hits Evolve, I think that's going to be a turn 6 Doppelgangster Evolve.
Turn 7, you mean?
Turn 7, sorry.
Yep, I heartily agree. That is probably the most overpowered combo I've seen in this game.
Oh yes,
You
it's
get-
quite gross.
You get 3 6-mana minions on the board in one turn.
So it's going to be the Mimic Pod here, no coin or anything to allow the Edwin to come into effect. Does have the double backstab. One of those has to be expended onto the Primal Fin. I think at this point you don't know that he has a second one, but you've got to mitigate some of the pressure that the one ones are going to start putting on the board, because you got to worrying about Bloodlust.
Small nitpick. Maybe wouldn't have used the one created by Mimic Pod because now he knows what you have in your hand.
But also, if he's keeping track of like placement, he'll see like the two right cards are the same cards. So
Yeah.
he should know. But the Flame Tongue draw is going to be absolutely massive here, and it's going to be Inoshishi in a really tough spot. He's got to take care of that Flame Tongue, and he's also got to worry about now the second Primal Fin Totem, because Bloodlust, as of right now, represents lethal.
Fan of
No
knives.
Fan of Knives still, right? And so he's got to weapon up. I think you got to take care of the Flame Tongue. Or do you... Yeah, it's got to be the Flame Tongue.
Yeah, you
it
gotta-
has to be the Flame Tongue. It's got to be the backstab, weapon up.
And throw down your
Throw
hot
down your
springs.
Edwin.
I would throw
Or
hot
Hot Springs
springs
would be good as well. Yes, yeah.
Because like if he doesn't have a totem anymore and he doesn't have bloodlust, you're fine.
And he can't
evolve. Evolve might work too.
Evolve. He can't devolve your taunt and play Bloodlust on the same turn.
It's true. It sucks that you can't buff your Edwin or your
I know.
questing adventure right now, but what do you do besides try to live?
Yeah, exactly. That's going to be the name of the game for Inoshishi here, and worry a little bit about resources if you're on Edge.
I think he's
got
throwing
the
down
3
Edwin.
cards.
I think he's going Edwin.
He might be thinking about it.
If he plays this, he's got to go Edwin.
Yeah, he's going to go Edwin on this turn.
Yeah.
But I mean, devolve, right?
Devolve, yes. But it sucks to use Devolve on one minion, but hey.
I mean, that
you gotta do.
was a lot of his, a lot of his resources put into that, getting that Edwin up to an 8/8.
Not the worst.
Well, not a lot actually. Just the 1/1 deal 1 damage. Actually, Manatide going to come down now too. That's going to be intense. Bloodlust actually picked up off a Swashbuckler earlier. Did I miss that?
Yes.
Okay, so Swashbuckler giving Inoshishi the Bloodlust. Arcane Giant picked up, but it's not going to be enough. I think you got a Hot Springs. You have to worry about the Bloodlust at this point. But you've also got to feel like you have to deal with the board, right? So he's going to play down he's going to play the questing, go Hot Springs, and he's going to take down a minion here with his hero power.
With his weapon, he's got to keep taking out these 1/1s. It sucks that he can't take care of the totem because honestly, it's never going to stop without. Yeah. He's just got those 1/1s coming on in.
Oh boy.
Oof. It's so ironic that Inoshishi has Bloodlust and Edge doesn't. And if he had it, it would be game over.
Ooh, Auctioneer is going to allow him to cycle a little bit here, or does he just play the 8/8? I think also at this point, would he have played a Bloodlust if he had it already?
Yes.
Right. So I'm thinking maybe Inoshishi knows Edge doesn't have the Bloodlust.
Yeah, but I mean, any turn it could happen.
Exactly. So, but he's got to be careful about it. But this turn specifically, I don't think he has to worry about it too much. Is he going to run every single minion here?
Yeah, you got to throw.
He's going to deplete him quite a bit. He has, but he has Jade Lightning in hand.
Sea Giant, and even
so he's going to free up space, I think.
Thing from below might be a good thing to throw down right now.
He's actually going to run 4 of his minions in.
That's actually really good for Inoshishi.
Yeah, I think that's going to mitigate a lot.
You're thinking, oh, thank God.
Thank God, the Bloodlust. But now, I mean, the Bloodlust represents something entirely different with the 8 mana.
Does he pick the Dirty Rat? Oh, he does.
Or the 8/8.
The card that you said he hates, he picked.
Exactly, he's going to pick it. He's going to maybe try to draw an Auctioneer out here. Yeah. With it, I mean, or just straight up be a taunt. Double Arcane Giant. This isn't good. He's got to just cycle. And I don't know what he can find. I mean, this is pretty much going to be game here. Jade Lightning in hand, right? 13, 17. Plus the 2. This rate's going to take down 1. Ooh, preparation as well.
You might as well play it.
Keep going. You got to keep going.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Still alive. Okay. All right. Keep going.
Are you ready for a miracle? Ready as I can be. Oh, come on.
But is he dead here?
You got to play it.
He's going to have to play Eviscerate, but on the 5/1, right?
Wouldn't it be ironic if he got... no, he wouldn't do that. If he could manage to get both Arcane Giants up
down to 0/0?
Yeah.
He doesn't have any coins left.
Nope. Does he have another? He has another
he has no
prep?
backstabs.
Another prep?
He has one more prep.
Okay, prep could be the card.
Prep Fan of Knives.
Oh my God!
He does have a backstab. Okay, now we're talking.
Boom.
Yeah, he's really running out of
time. He can get one out.
But he's got one.
He can get one of them out.
But
okay.
Is he dead?
Is he dead? 8, 9, 10, 11.
He's dead. Yeah, he's dead.
Now he's dead.
Okay. All that for nothing. He's dead. With the Jade Lightning in hand, it is going to be another win for Edge. And just like that, in the matter of minutes, we are back to a tied series here, 2-2 here, Edge versus Inoshishi. It's going to come down to the Taunt Warrior Miracle Rogue matchup, and you think the Taunt Warrior is easy. I think obviously it can go either way.
Yep.
And it's entirely dependent on draw. You know, if Edge misses, gets too heavy of a hand, gets those, high cost minions, the Miracle Rogue could take it.
Imagine if he has to mulligan away a hand and he ends up with a bad hand right at the beginning. Yeah. It could be the end.
But it go obviously it's Hearthstone, so it could go both ways, right? And it could be just a feels rogue man hand. You get all the fuel, but you don't have the engine with the Auctioneer in hand, and then it's like, oh, I got all these coins, but nothing to do with it. Prep, coin, backstab.
I concur.
I concur, exactly. So, gonna come down to 2-2. Now, let's get some predictions in. I want to get some predictions in here. All right.
Calls them how's I sees them.
So, are you gonna stick with the Taunt Warrior, or are you gonna go with Inoshishi's Miracle Rogue?
I am gonna go Taunt Warrior. I think this is going Edge. I have never regretted betting on Edge, so I'm gonna go with Edge.
There you go. I think it could go either way. Just looking at the hands, I don't want to cheat. I think I'm gonna give the edge to Edge.
Give the edge to Edge.
Yeah, I'm gonna give the edge to Edge. I think the Taunt Warrior just usually is able to find a much better starting hand. And now that I say that, I look and it's like, oh, that's
not
terrible.
great.
That's terrible. It just feels like whenever I play Taunt Warrior, it's always Stonehill Defender, Tar Creeper, in hand. It feels super good, and it's like, yeah. Or you have removal pieces. You Whirlwind Sleep with the Fishes. It's like, yeah, I can deal with whatever. But now, it's kind of looking like the opposite.
Yep, this could be a bad day for Edge if he.
Bad day.
I mean, next turn he's got the Blood Hoof, so I mean, not horrible. He didn't get there's no pressure really on the board. Just
Mimic
a 2/2.
Pod in hand as well.
I think you'll see that. He's trying to get it down for the Arcane Giant there. He wants to get that in.
Yeah, I think it's going to be okay. I just don't know how you deal with this Bloodhoof Brave now. This is kind of the problems that the Miracle Rogue's going to run into.
Yeah.
Is that his minions are going to be so ineffective. I don't know how you get through the big health taunts.
See, if it were me, you'd almost want to include a Vanish in your deck. Because,
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
Because then if he has a line full of big taunt minions, it's like, oh, we'll play them all again.
But then also, like, you can't
Yeah.
afford to play that when you have Edwin already played, right?
That's correct. That's correct. You'd have to play around that. But if you have Big Edwin, he'll just punch the taunt.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be a little bit different. He does have double Vile Spine, though, so he could set the tempo early, try to get some big minions out. King Mosh is the absolute #1 choice, in my opinion.
Yeah.
As Miracle Rogue, your biggest problem is removal.
I think
King
King Mosh is an interesting choice.
Right? I mean, you just go for it here.
It's a 9-mana play, but hey, if he has a lineup of taunt minions, King Mosh.
Exactly, King Mosh.
It's a
like
big mana
Twisting
execute.
Nether with a 9/7 body, but he's going to go over the shield block. I mean, that's the more conservative pick. I think it's like, allow me to pick up some more pieces in the early game, maybe get the other counterfeit coin, or a counterfeit coin, maybe find a prep for your auctioneer, because turn 6 is coming up right around the corner, so I think that's the mindset behind picking up the shield block here.
It also counts towards your Arcane Giant, which you're working towards.
I just loved, for some reason, the King Mosh was looking real attractive.
Yeah, I know. If you're looking for the RNG play, that'd be great. He'd be like, what? How do I play around that?
King Mosh, exactly. Because, Edge knows he doesn't have a Vanish. Look at what AoE removal is he going to have.
So what is he
King
do
Mosh,
here?
I'm telling you.
He's probably going to kill. I mean, he might have to coin out a Vile Spine Slayer to kill it.
Do you need to kill it this turn?
No, I mean, well, he does, but saving your 1/1s. See, and I mean, your 1/1s aren't even that good. Like, who cares if they die or
Yeah.
get traded? But I mean, he likes to put that out to save them. But you do need to start keeping taunts off the board, or you're just going to run into problems.
Ooh, Stubborn Gastropod would be nice if it wasn't.
Cornered?
If it was the Giant Wasp, that'd be perfect, right? The one with stealth.
Cornered Sentry makes a great taunt add-on, or sorry, not taunt add-on, brawl add-on is what I mean.
Well, especially Whirlwind also
Yeah.
makes it pretty ineffective.
Exactly. Pretty good choice.
Nope, really good choice there.
What do we do here?
I think you can't play your Auctioneer this turn. It's too likely to get traded away with something like an Execute.
Yeah, probably throw it on your shield barrier.
Shield block,
Shield
yeah.
block.
And there you just draw cards. If you want,
Yeah.
you Fan of Knives just for draw as well. If you get prep, you hold. I think you just hold on. Or you could play one action. He's got both Auctioneers in hand, right? So you play one, and it's like, oh shit, I need to deal with this. Plays that Execute, and all of a sudden, boom, you got the second Auctioneer next turn. You start cycling through, and it's like, well, I don't have an Execute for this one. Now it's going to keep running through cards. He actually runs into the second Fan of Knives. He's going to use that right away. He really needs a prep. Prep would be the go button here for the Auctioneer for Shishi.
He's got a few options next turn. I mean, he can go for Arcane Giant. He could throw down an Auctioneer. He wouldn't get much out of it. He could throw down the Malkorok. I can't say that. Malkorok and get the weapons.
Found the prep, but he's just going to go for Malkorok.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good weapon. That is a good weapon.
I've seen worse weapons.
I've seen worse. A lot of worse weapons.
I've seen worse weapons, yeah.
That is no Light's Justice.
No, definitely not a Light's Justice. I think you got to pass this turn, I think, right? Or is he going to swing into the alley? Oh, he's going to swing into the...
Interesting choice.
Yeah, very interesting.
What does he want to do?
I mean, you also got to think that you could play your Thalanos Fan of Knives, potentially, I guess.
Pressure's on for Edge here. I mean, he's throwing down more taunt minions, so... But it's nice that he got the weapon that's immune when you attack stuff.
Yep.
So he could basically attack into it that 6/9, or he could just Vile Spine Slayer it. That's probably what I'd do. It's a pretty big face.
Yeah, I think you got to go with one of your Auctioneers here. I mean, you just need something. But also, the Vile Spine is very attractive on the 6/9.
Yeah.
Right? But he's going to go for the Prep Fan here. So he's going to cycle quite a bit. Ooh, Edwin, if he found a coin, would be very, very nice looking.
What can he do? I mean...
He's going to Prep Fan here, right?
He's got a fan.
You've got a fan.
Got a fan.
Got a fan. You could also Thalanos Fan.
I could also Thalanos fan. It's not a bad choice. So that takes him down to 7. You got no 7 though. You gotta. I think you'll probably attack the 2/5 with your minion. Yeah. And then
You just gotta swing, right? Because you're immune, doesn't really matter, and anything that he trades into will die. Essentially,
Yeah.
unless he decides to trade the 6/2 into the Thalanos, which would be, in my opinion, a huge mistake.
it's good because he knows he has another option, so he could do that. He afforded to do that. Fire Plume's Heart is done, and we see the Sulfuros out now. All right.
Oh, another prep as well. Oh,
We
what
got
did he
a
just burn away there?
We had a burn.
I'm actually not sure, but here I'll go do some investigative journaling. Or, you know,
We'll find out what he burned here.
journalist.
He's thrown down the questing. I think he's got to throw down the questing, buff it up, and then throw down his Edwin.
He burnt a hallucination. So not the
Hallucination.
worst
No.
card to burn through.
But I mean, if you're buffing an Edwin or a questing adventure, it's a pretty good one
Yeah, definitely.
to have. I think he's trying to bait the brawl.
He's
which
trying
is
to debate
good.
a brawl, for sure.
Debate a
Absolutely.
brawl.
The thing about it, though, is that there's 2 brawls. So,
Yeah.
Inoshishi tried to be the debater, but he might end up being the debated.
Debated.
Exactly.
And I mean, with his ghoul in hand, he can take care of the 6/1. Elects to do so. He can play Sulfuros,
Yeah, he's going to go for the
Yeah.
Sulfuros. Yeah.
and now it's starting to look pretty dire for Inusushi. Again, you got to worry about brawl, double brawl. He's
Execute
He really wants
still
to throw
in hand.
down. He really wants to throw down his questing, buff that up, and then throw down Edwin same turn. But it'll get brawled, so it's going to happen. Maybe he'll get to keep one of them.
He has a prep in hand. He could make a huge Edwin here. Hope it doesn't hit. He'll hope the Sulfuros Hero Power doesn't hit the Edwin.
Yeah.
And basically just go face. And then how else does he damage it? He has to have another Ravaging, a Whirlwind to activate the Execute. Right, because he's going to trade the 2/1 and the Hero Power. So he's going to go for the double questing Edwin?
All right. I wouldn't put Edwin. I would just do double questing and make him use brawl. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket here.
Yeah, I think that's just too greedy.
I'd almost trade.
It just looks like that's what he's kind of was
Trade
going
your
for,
2/1.
right?
Trade your 2/1 and attack with your weapon, or not, or that.
Well, I mean, he can't play Edwin anymore, so that's...
Yeah. Well, that's fine.
He's just
but
saving the 2/1.
If you get brawled though, it's a bad choice. You do not want that to be the winner of the brawl.
So he's going to find Execute. He's going to use one of the brawls here. It's a 66% chance.
Oh, I just called.
Immediately punished.
Oh, buddy. Oh,
Feels bad, but
I fight in taverns very frequently, so I know what to do.
there you go. But also, granted, the hero power, say a questing adventurer won, say that was a questing adventure, it'd be dead.
Yeah,
Because of hero power, right? So
it's true. You take a little more damage to face, but yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. Now, do you play the huge Edwin?
Well, it's much more attractive, but he does also
I
have
think-
execute. You almost
I
want
know.
to throw down your arcane giant.
Arcane Giant to bait out and execute,
Bait out and
but
execute.
then he's still gonna brawl. But the thing is, Edge also really isn't doing anything to come onto the board. But also, in Oshishi, I mean, once you're done both your auctioneers, once you've run out of your Edwin, he's got no questing adventures. It's like, what else does he have to really threaten the board? He's got a bunch of spells.
What is he doing with Petal? Just to draw, I guess?
He's just drawing.
Yeah, what is he going to do for 2 damage?
He's gonna SI.
SI? Okay.
Yeah, you just build like a little moderate board. It's like, oh, it kind of feels like I have to deal with
Yeah.
this. Oh, another Petal.
Doesn't want
Why?
to attack it with your face, I guess.
Oh, he can Edwin here if he wants to, but I feel like it's like an immediate brawl. Or execute, sorry.
There you go. That's a good
He's
one.
Arcane Giant. Don't go both.
If he does,
Okay.
but Arcane Giant does get hero powered and dies.
Yeah.
So there's a 50-50 on that one. Let's hope that doesn't happen.
Oh, it's gonna go face here, so it's gonna be a little bit of pressure, but also gotta worry about Inoshishi's life totals a bit. Edge can armor up, Inoshishi can't. If Inoshishi continues to trade in with his hero power, it's gonna take him down as well. Okay, so trade in the 8/8, or you can Vile Spine if you really want to push 8 damage to face. I think that's gotta be the way you go here. Swashbuckler, Vile Spine, SI even to push more damage on Don Hancho as well.
I hope that goes on Edwin.
I mean, okay, you got a but realistically, you got a Vile Spine here, right?
I would, yes. I'd try to keep his armor as low as
You
possible.
mitigate the armor, and you push 8 damage to face. Right? And Edge has 2 cards in hand.
Do you wipe the board, or do you leave up the armor smith and go face? It's tough. It's a tough call. That's his one link back to armor. I mean, Edge is running out of resources.
SI
to be
does
honest.
2 damage, right? Or 3?
SI does 2.
If SI did 3, I would say, SI, Armor Smith.
Oh, he's gonna get brawled. What is he doing for 2 more damage, though?
He might just leave it. No, he's gonna hit it again.
Why is he doing? That's an interesting
Wait, did he
choice.
not?
Yeah, he did. Okay, we're good. Gonna get a brawl here.
Gonna get another brawl here. Yeah,
Right.
slam as well. I think you can just. He's gonna
Oh my
use the
God.
brawl first. Use the brawl
He's
first.
actually using up all the minions in his hands so that Don Hancho buffs Van Cleef. This is gonna be great.
Oh god.
Oh.
Would you use like coin for nothing?
Oh my god.
Okay,
Okay.
that's SI. Yeah,
I thought it was.
hit that side. Okay.
Okay. That would have been devastating. Okay.
Okay.
Don Hancho, and I would throw down your. Maybe even.
I mean, it's good. There's a
Maybe-
high chance that it buffs the. There's a 50% chance it buffs the arcane.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, there you go.
That's
you
a
go.
big.
And it's
fun-
like, how does he proc the execute, right? He needs to find his AoE, his Ravaging Ghouls. He needs to run into. Oh, and play the Edwin. He's got no more brawls.
Oh my God.
He's got no more brawls. Just
he-
coin prep Edwin.
Edwin, oh my god. This could end right now.
This is gonna.
Poor Edge.
What is this? What wins him? What
No, both brawls are
doesn't
gone.
lose him the game?
Both brawls are
He
gone.
needs to be able to execute the Arcane Giant if he wants to stay alive.
Well, Edwin might even be bigger now.
Edwin's gonna be a 12,
Oh, 12. Okay.
17. So he's still technically alive,
Yeah.
right?
He's. Yeah.
Oh, he has slam. He has slam. I'm stupid. He literally has the activator in hand. Sleep with the Fishes isn't going to do anything for him. He's got to hope that the hero power hits the 5/6, or just go for the RNG. Tell your hero power to hit face, and then go for the 33% chance next time.
He's gonna lose with.
Oh, he doesn't
one
have any
health.
hero. I mean, he doesn't have any armor,
Doesn't have any armor.
so he lost.
He's done.
He's done.
With 1 health.
Oh, unfortunate. It's going to be Inoshishi picking up the win this time around.
Oh.
I don't know what I was thinking about. He doesn't have the armor, so
Exact-
he was dead. He needed that to hit the Don Hancho to stay alive. But it is going to be Inoshishi taking the semifinal. That means Inoshishi will be moving on to the winner's match versus Alarid, and it'll be Edge versus Mr. Janorm in the loser's match, which will be the next matchup. I do believe it'll be Edge versus Mr. Janorm right after this one. But Chris, that was a great series to watch. It was looking a little bit tense there for a bit for Inoshishi. It looked like the run back was going to happen for Edge. He's done it lots before. He was 1 game away, 1 damage away from
One
making it happen
damage.
this time around. Wasn't able to do it, but what an exciting series. But we are going to take a little bit of a break. I believe we're going to get the winner in here. We're going to get Inoshishi in here to talk about that match in just a few minutes. But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with SKL Hearthstone action.
See you then. All right, we're back here with Inoshishi after his big win against Edge going on. How do you feel after the match that went to the 5th game and 1 health difference?
Pretty relieved, I guess. I kind of figured it might come down to the last game because I think my rogue deck's probably the weakest deck. So.
Were you anticipating that he would save the Taunt Warrior for the last after he lost 2 games in a row with it?
Yeah. Well, I kind of figured. Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Okay. I gotta ask you. Of course, we were talking about it. You know, we're plugging the storyline of the run back. I don't know if you're familiar with Edge's last tournament or season. He was able to basically reverse sweep every opponent. Every person he played was up 2-0 against him, and then he ran it back, and then he ran it back, and then all the way until he won it. Even then, he was like down 2-0, run it back. So I gotta ask you. A little bit, were you getting a little nervous after the first game and then especially after the second one? Or were you just kind of, like you said, your rogue's the weakest, or so were you like, okay, it's going to be tough?
I was kind of expecting to lose the first rogue match. After I lost the second one, though, I was getting
a little nervous?
Though,
yeah, for sure. For you, what was kind of the turning point, would you say, in the last game 5? Was it just being able to hit those big minions, wasting all his removal? Or was it basically a waiting game for you, or did you have any other thoughts on the final match?
Really, I was just kind of
giving her
going with it.
Yeah, going with it.
Rogue's actually my least played class too, so just trying to kind of wing it, and hopefully it turns out for the best. Wow, no, that's awesome.
Can we ask how you feel going up against Alred coming up?
Yes.
In the winners bracket.
Well, his decks are a little bit faster than I was hoping to run into at the tournament, so just have to see how that goes.
Absolutely, yeah. He's got the Pirate Warrior, Control Mage, Shaman, and Jade Druid. So those, 3 out of 4 automatically are pretty fast decks. Control Mage maybe the only slow one. Is there one that maybe stands out to you? Is it like the Elemental Shaman, or what are you maybe most worried about? Without giving too much away, of course, your secret strats. So is there one that really kind of you're worried about the most?
Yogg's always scary.
Yogg is pretty scary, yes.
Unless it hexes
it's the biggest
itself.
coin flip in the game.
Yeah, unless it kills itself, it's pretty much a wild card. But thank you very much, and congratulations on your semifinal win. It was very awesome to watch. But we'll be right back, guys. We've got more action. We've got the losers matchup right next year on SKL Hearthstone Season 3. Don't go anywhere.
See you then.
how's it going? Welcome back here to the SKL Championships here at the Aspect Virtual Reality Gaming Studios in Saskatoon. Here with my cousin Chris.
How's it going, Ben?
Very good, very good. We're excited to be here. We've seen some great action so far. We've seen some upsets because both of our first seeds are in the losers bracket. So going to be interesting to see how this shapes up, and we are going to have our first losers match of the tournament. So that means Mr. Joe Norm versus Edge. Loser goes home, Chris.
Loser goes home or stays, but doesn't play.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works. Your time is up, your time card's expired, and
Yeah.
no more time for you. Anyway, it's going to be a great matchup. We've got Purify Priest, a mid-range hunter, and mid-range shaman are going to be going up against a token evolved shaman, a taunt warrior, and a murloc paladin coming out from Edge. So your initial thoughts on how that's sort of going to shape up today?
I'm actually really excited to see Edge's Murloc Paladin. It includes Deathwing, and that's unheard of. So, yeah, I really hope that that comes out as the first deck.
For those that don't know, by the way, Chris is a huge advocate of Deathwing. I think every single deck he's run, there's just a Deathwing that exists in it. So we're going to get right into the matchup right here. It is going to be the mid-range Shaman going up against the Token Evolve Shaman. Very interesting matchup right here as we see two Evolves coming out. He is going to leave one Devolve on the side of Mr. Joe Norm and a Jinyu Water Speaker. And over on Edge's side, Aya Blackpaw, a Jade Claws, Stonehill Defender, and an Evolve. So pretty okay start for both of them. It's going to be a longer game, though, indeed.
Bit more of a mid-rangey Jade Shaman versus the very aggro-heavy mid-range Token Shaman. It'll be interesting because you have to clear the board every time against Mr. Joe Norm in order to stay alive. So we'll see how well Edge does that while he builds up his Jade army.
Yeah, so we are going to see it drops down another totem right here. Stonehill Defender out on the side of Edge, and a 1/1 Jade Golem from Mr. Joe Norm. Edge now going to be making some golems for himself with the Jade Claws, and drops down the Primal Fin Totem to start to get those tokens created. And he does have an Evolve in hand, so that's looking pretty good. Does have White Eyes in there as well too if he chooses to go that next turn.
If he, I think we're going to see an early Sea Giant here.
Oh, but this is a huge board clear though coming out from the Maelstrom Portal, so that'll probably put a stall on that one. Even gets the best one drop in the game right there with the Divine Shielded minion. So Maelstrom Portal coming out onto the side of Edge as well, and is going to trade off the Divine Shield Argent Squire, I believe. I can't remember what that card is right now. So does get the board back, and does get his tokens rolling once again, and now it's going to be a little bit harder for Mr. Joe Norm to get rid of this board. He could devolve it, but I mean that wouldn't really leave him in a position to do anything too much. So what do you do here? I guess just make some Jades and...
Yeah, in my opinion, I would throw down that the Jade Spirit right there, and yeah, if they takes up 4 mana, got no real 2 mana play besides devolve. Probably just that. That's what I'd go with.
I mean, you could hex the totem. It doesn't feel great.
No, that feels terrible.
Yeah.
You save it for Aya, or you save it for his Sea Giant or something.
Could slam down a Manatide Totem and just try and find something that's going to clear this board, but once this gets evolved or even Sea Gianted here next turn, it's not going to be looking good. So looks like he's going the Jade Spirit route.
Feels bad, man. You got 1 more mana. You can't really do much.
Yeah, I guess he'll just slam down another totem, maybe devolve it if he chooses.
I guess he can play 2 3s next turn.
He is going to devolve it.
That feels bad. Well, Wisps. Hey.
Guess nothing but Wisps. He still does have the opportunity, however, to slam down that Sea Giant right now, and can even evolve all of his minions back up if he wants to. No, decides to go for the trade into everything, and he's going to slam down the Doppelgangster and the Evolve in the same turn, and that one, that hurts. He gets a 9/7, a 5/7, and a 4/4 generated off of that. The Hex does come out on the 9/7, but yeah, not too much in the way of fuel here for Mr. Joe Norm to deal with these tokens right now. Ooh, does get a Devolve though. That's pretty nice.
Does, but they're probably not going back down to Doppelgangsters.
No, probably not. So
And here comes an Aya Black Paw out. That's going to give him the 2/2 Golem, 3/3 once it dies. The 4/4 goes into the Mana Tide. And that 5/7, the Arakur there, or whatever the heck its name is, I can't remember. Ooh, gets down to Knuckles, so that's all right. And 4/4 comes in. Lightning Storm, does this kill off the board? Let's see.
2 4/4s will be the question.
Oh, it gets 1.
That's pretty good.
Not bad at all.
That is a pretty good play, to be honest. He might as well attack the totem with Knuckles, because that'll attack face 2. And then 6/1 into face will be... I mean, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Even with the clear. Holy crap.
So, I mean, he's going to get... He's like... Ooh, Volcano's nice.
That is very nice.
He
Very
can...
lucky.
Yeah, he gets the Volcano, and we'll see how it does up for him.
I think it'll clear.
Oh, whole board. Very, very good right there. So, perfect on that, but slams down a White Eyes off of that Stonehill Defender. That's a really, really valuable Stonehill Defender this game, and it's turning things definitely back into Edge's favor once again. We might see a thing from below, maybe. Does he get Spell Power?
If he gets spell power, he would have jaded it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he's got to play defensively. He was down to 13, even with all those clears. That's really a lot of pressure.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, still pressure coming out because we're going to see a Sea Giant again, and he can devolve his whole board as well, and he's probably going to do that. That's probably coming right away, and decides not to.
He's definitely got a Spirit Echo, anything good right now, to try to keep himself alive.
Yeah, he might just have to Spirit Echo the Jinyu. Oh, he gets another Volcano, though. So he could Spirit Echo himself and then Volcano, but chooses to go the Jade Lightning on the
he's really got
Mana Tide Totem.
He's trying to use his... Okay, fair enough. I think he's trying to get the Giant to attack his totem, which I think he has to, unless he devolves. Yeah, he's gonna
The devolve is huge.
Yeah, and that gets rid of his Spirit Echo.
Ooh,
tough.
Yeah.
Tough break there.
Really, really tough break there for Joe Norm. That was probably the opportunity to try and get it back, was those Spirit Echoes, but this pressure is just getting out of control. Picks up another...
I think he's going to have to Volcano again now.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, you almost want a Spirit Echo before, and then...
Spirit Echo Volcano, unless he just trades the whole board into it.
Yep, it looks to be the case. But there's no way he attacks it with his weapon. So, yeah, he's got a Volcano.
He's going Volcano with it.
I think he's looking for 15.
15 total, yeah. Just to clear it all off.
Yeah.
Then you know it's at least guaranteed, right? So, does that, slams down a 4/4 with the Jade Claws, and also gets himself the Flame Elemental out there as well too. Drops down the Flame Totem, but the Jade Lightning is going to take out that Jade, gives himself a 3/3 Jade Golem, and he still has another one in hand for whatever Mr. Joe Norm decides to play. With another 4/4, and he can even Maelstrom Portal out that Totem if he wants to. Decides to pass the turn on that one, and well, White Eyes comes into play, so that's feeling pretty nice right now, and he's got to try and find either the Spell Power Totem out of his hand, or he's got to find you know, a Maelstrom Portal Jade Lightning combo.
I think this is getting devolved, which is sad because it could have gotten...
Yeah, and a Storm Guardian. And a devolve, that hurts. Does get a 4/4 at least, but Maelstroms all the wisps.
Pretty hard to deal with.
Jade Golem, and that's a 10/10, and he's dead next turn, and he's got no way to deal with that one.
That is lethal. Unless he may... No, even if he gets taunt, it's still lethal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Yep.
Because, yeah, the Jade Lightning is still kicking in hand, so... 10/10 White Eyes off the Stonehill Defender.
That'll be a quick game one for Edge. That was a lot of pressure. I could not believe he kept filling the board up with such great minions.
Yeah, no doubt, and that's the thing with Token Shaman, is that if it has the opportunity to snowball itself into oblivion, as they say, it does get a little scary to deal with. So, and it's kind of hard for Shaman to deal with it itself as well. I mean, if he gets a really, really early Lightning Storm, which he did get fairly early in that one, if he gets Spell Power with that one and clears the whole board, I believe it left up the The 4-1.
4-1 and a 3 Knuckles. So Knuckles maybe took 4. It was 3-3. But I mean, looking at it, he had 3 big clears and he still lost. Like the pressure was infinite. And so, what do you do? His Spirit Echoes were all but useless. It was a useless cast because they both got devolved, or they one sat in hand. So what's the point of carrying it in your deck? I mean, versus another Shaman. We're really entering the evolve-devolve meta right now. It's like a little bit different polymorph kind of thing, right?
Yeah, no doubt. And that certainly affected him right there because, I mean, the only way he could have maybe thought about coming back into that game would have been to Spirit Echoes his Jinyu Water Speaker and have the opportunity maybe that turn before. It probably still would have got devolved anyway, so just the mass crowd control on that Spirit Echoes is just, it was crucial in this case, and we saw it in full swing right there, just how devastating a devolve and evolve can be between Shaman versus Shaman matchup. So our next matchup here is probably going to be
And you get to choose between his Taunt Warrior and mid-range Murloc Paladin. Well, Joe Norm also has all 3 available: his Control Priest, his mid-range Hunter, and his Jade Shaman.
So it's going to be the Taunt Warrior against the mid-range Hunter, and this is certainly favored in Edge's favor because Taunt Warrior kind of just destroys mid-range Hunter. It is pretty darn hard for the mid-range Hunter to get anything going, really.
This was really a poor draw on Joe Norm's part. I mean, this Hunter, in my opinion, is not designed to trade into taunt minions. It needs to be able to go face. And, I mean, he's going to have a tough time here.
Yeah. It's
with
gonna be...
that. He doesn't have anything to kill his hyena. Oh, of course. Top.
The fiery wind axe.
Joe Norm, buddy.
That hurts. So Animal Companion comes out. He does get Huffer at least, so
Yeah, I mean,
that'll help him out into this mid game here, and it's obviously going to die right away and probably slams down his 2/6 taunt. You got to get the taunts rolling. It goes with the Tar Creeper. Either or really works. Just getting that quest up and moving, and Houndmaster comes into play here onto his Crab, but won't trade into it effectively, so we kind of get into a stalemate right now. Ravaging Ghoul comes out, and he's going to sleep with the fishes, clear the whole board, and when that happens, when you are a mid-range Hunter against the Taunt Warrior, you just feel sick to your stomach.
oh, things are not going well.
Nope.
Okay, I was debating whether he'd go Tundra Rhino or he'd go Weapon into Kindly Grandmother. But it looks like he's going with that. Because you can Tundra Rhino next turn if he doesn't trade, and you get to use both to attack.
But he top decks an Alley Armorsmith, the perfect curve again. That's going to be just awful.
This is not good.
Tundra Rhino, I mean, yeah, it just slams down Savannah Highmane here, and yeah, you got to hope on the Death Rattle charges that something good happens, I suppose. He's going to full trade. No, he's actually got an execute for that. Wow. So that hurts.
Interesting part, Edge knows that this game is not going to be won by Sulphurus, so he didn't even bother to cast his quest.
Yeah, interesting,
He's going straight taunt minions, going face. Like, he knows that he's never going to play it because he has to armor up all the time to stay alive. So now his Big Bad Wolf is going to have charge, to be able to trade with that Brave. And yeah, I mean, what do you do at this point? He's got to go Rat Pack, and he can get mass charges next turn.
Yeah, I suppose, but Curator's going to drop down right here, and just, again, that perfect curve. Not into his quest yet, but, I mean, he's just grabbing himself a beast with the Dire Horn, gets himself the Abyssal Drake as well. I mean, he's just looking on point at this part, and now it's kind of an issue of how does Mr. Joe Norm get himself back in this? He's still got gas with the kill command here, and he's going to put the Kindly Grandmother into that one.
And next turn, here comes the Primordial Drake, and it's
Yeah.
pretty much over.
Yeah, at that
for
point.
Joe Norm. What do you do?
Curve that out just perfectly, so.
Yeah, taunt for every occasion.
Oof. That one hurts.
That one hurts a lot.
That one really hurts. There's not much else to say other than that sick feeling is coming back.
he's got nothing. He can't, there's no board clears for Hunter.
He's got no draw to get his win condition.
Edge played this perfectly. Luck had something to do with it. RNG had a little bit to do with it, but he played it perfectly. He let him burn out. It was like a Mike Tyson.
Oh my god, he gets a kill command. He kills him. He top decks the kill command with Rat Pack still out. And gets it with the hero power.
Hell, excuse my French, did that happen?
Whoa.
That is one for the ages. Holy
Whoa.
crap. That is the power of Hunter.
Whoa.
We were calling it before it was true. And here we stand, Joe Norm.
Whoa.
Edge one. We are still aghast.
Literally the only card in the deck that could have got him the win.
Yep.
And literally that turn only. And it happened.
Now we know why Hunter's the thing. And
Whoa!
Face Hunter is the quickest deck to get to Legend.
Oh boy. I hope Dylan wants to come and cast later, because after that one, ooh boy.
Okay.
So, we now see the mid-range Hunter taken off the board here for Mr. Joe Norm. That means we still have the mid-range Shaman and Falcon Punch Purify Priest to go up against the Murloc Paladin and the Taunt Warrior. So, should be pretty interesting. Still sort of give the advantage here to Edge with the Murloc Paladin against the Purify Priest. And then we've also got, I believe the Shamans were played out, so the Jade Druid got banned. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how Taunt Warrior will go up against the mid-range Hunter Purify Priest. So going to be interesting to see when they get ready to go here. We will get into our next matchup. I can't believe that happened.
Me neither. I'm aghast. That shouldn't have happened. The gods shouldn't have let that happen. Okay. What I believe is 1-1, correct for Edge? 1-1. So our technical guy, could you please change it to score 1-1?
There it is.
All right. We're good to go. We're going into game 3. And we'll see Edge play his Paladin with Deathwing. Okay.
That's going up against our Jade Shaman. So this is going to be an interesting one. And Edge does get himself a full mulligan and actually picks up the Stone Cold Nuts for a drop on that one. That does not get any better for a Murloc Paladin. So he's getting luck on his side.
A little bit of curve.
Yeah, kind of unlucky that he does get a Tyrion Forge Ring, but I mean, he can curve that out into something amazing. And he's got, wow, yeah, Rockpool Hunter into Murloc War Leader, into a Consecrate, whatever the heck Mr. Joe Norm decides to play here. So it's going to be interesting. Drops down the Totem. That one's not going to do much. Murloc War Leader is going to come out. Just an immaculate curve here.
We know that War Leader probably will get Jade Lightninged.
Chooses to Stonehill Defender that, and at this point, maybe White Eyes? I mean, you got to get something out quick. It's going to it goes for the Hot Spring Guardian, and another one too as well. I think the Alec here was a little too far off. So
I'm thinking next turn he's going to coin Volcano. So
yeah, it could be.
And so what we got, 4 and 8, 9, 10, 13. So coin Volcano. We'll take out everything.
It's a good play there.
We're good.
Yeah. Back into the mid game. This is kind of when Shaman shines, but I mean, got quite a bit of damage on him right there in order to get it figured out. I mean, that was a really good tempo swing right in the early game there from our Paladin Edge, and now it's a matter of he's going to run out the Jade Claws here. He's got to get his Jades going. That's his win condition, and he has to get them going right now.
That's a fair point. Some people would have tossed out Hot Spring Guardian, but if you need to give all your Jades +1/+1, now's the time to do it.
So we'll probably see the Jade, what's it called here? Oh, he decides to go with the Hot Spring Guardian. I was thinking he'd probably drop down maybe a Jade Spirit there, but this way I guess you don't lose any things with Finjan coming out, making things crazy, but there goes a fine Cleaver. So that is going to effectively take that out, and he's going to even get the Finja,
2 Murlocs coming out here.
which is going to fill up that board pretty darn quick, and he gets not the most amazing ones.
No, that was not the one he's hoping for.
And,
probably another War Leader or Charge Minion.
Honestly, you could, drop down Lightning Storm. Does that kill off everything? Yes, wow, and he gets a Jade Spirit, so
Very
beautiful
lucky.
swing back in the favor of Mr. Joe Norm here. But, I mean, look at the hand of Edge. She's just got everything. Tyrion Fordring, no Hex either in hand right now for Mr. Joe Norm. Does he get lucky again? Does he pull out a Hex right here? Oh, my
He's
God.
calling it.
Oh, no.
Jordan. Oh,
By the holy light is absolutely right.
Edge does not pray to Jesus enough. Pardon Jesus.
Aaron Jesus is not on his side
No,
today. Wow.
He's just like, you're going to feel it tonight.
Well, he slams down Ragnaros the Light Lord. If he gets a spell power totem, that's dealt with as well with Jade Lightning. Oh, he did kill off. Never mind. He did get to kill off the 3/3 there. So what does he pull out here?
Probably throw out your taunt. Well, what are his Jades at right now?
His Jades are at, I believe, 4/4.
Okay, well that would be a good one to toss up.
3/3.
Aya might be a good one. I could see Aya.
Yeah, Aya, and then grabs himself the Mana Tide totem as well.
Okay, and then Ragnaros will have. Does he trade or does he go face? Probably face. You're thinking face. And he does have Deathwing in hand.
Yeah.
He's not going to use it yet, but
If he actually Stonehill Defenders, grabs
Tyrion.
himself True... Wow, we got another Tyrion. If he
Yeah.
True Silver Champions himself, this will now... So he can now trade that. That will guaranteed heal his Ragnaros, which is huge. Kills that off. And this is actually a very, very
doesn't
scary board
guarantee
to deal with.
Doesn't guarantee now that he attacked that one. He could have attacked the Mana Tide and guaranteed, but not anymore.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah.
And... Well, it does heal himself.
wins.
Anyway, so...
Wins the coin flip.
Aaron Jesus is on his side there. Volcano is dropped. Might see that one come out here. We might also just see him slam down a bunch of Jade here.
13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, he's now... It's not quite at 15. There's a couple of health remaining, I think.
Oh, it is enough
No,
to kill
it
it
is
off,
15.
though. And there's the White Eyes comes out, so pretty nice stabilization there. Probably going to see another Tyrion Fordring come out. Can he deal the 1 damage? Not yet, so he's just going to leave that there. And Hex number 2, how lucky? Not very. Well, he gets a Maelstrom Portal. That'll deal with the Divine Shield at least, so pretty lucky.
Yeah.
It's about the other lucky one that would have been popped out, so we'll
I
have to
was
see.
kind of hoping Rallying Blade would buff Tyrion.
Yeah. Well, Ginny Water Speaker comes out, gets himself another totem out there as well. Consecrate will be played here out of Edge. Decides to Stonehill defend it first, actually.
Oh,
Cyclopean Horror would be amazing right now, yeah.
You'll get a 3/7.
Yeah.
That's not a bad
For
play.
4. This would be the...
Unless he consecrates now. Okay. And he doesn't get the draw from the 1/2 there because he didn't buff it to attack.
So what's the other card he's playing here? Maybe he's playing the Rallying?
Looks like the Grimscale.
Interesting. Value was there for the Cyclopean Horror, but... Will decide to grab the title hand, gets himself another 1/1 Silver Hand Murloc, and ooh, the Evolve comes out. Yeah, that's nice. Gets rid of the weapon for sure.
Does not want to give him a weapon, but he now does heal back up to 6.
Ooh, 6/8 Wind Fury. He can Jade Lightning it, but that hurts.
So it's 4/8 now.
At least he has a taunt to sort of deal with it, but
that's a tough break, man.
yeah. That's pretty gross, and Terem is going to come out too here.
It'll make for a pretty good trade, but does he want to do that? I mean, his Wisps blew 3/3, which would be good.
And he still get the 6 damage from that as well, and he's got a Rallying. So this all trade's very nice. Gets to deal the 6 damage to face here, and is looking pretty good. A Jade Chieftain's going to come out. Ooh, he gets all of the Jades though too. So a 6/6 taunt comes into play now. We'll get traded off with Terem and his Blade, and a Hydrologist comes out. What does he get? Noble Sacrifice is pretty good. Oh, he gets a Getaway Kodo too. And he's got another Hydrologist. What's he going to get here? Redemption's looking pretty nice here too. Even Repentance would be pretty sweet. But Cycloptean Horror gets dropped down. That was 3-6 now, so pretty much the same stats that he got from before. Plays his secrets down and is going to trade in the Blade and Terem and smash 3 more into the face. So
Sadly, I don't think we're going to get to see Deathwing.
But Jade Spirit Echo is looking pretty darn good here too.
I mean, that's all he can do. He better Totem first too, so
Yeah.
yeah, and he'll get it all.
Totem, Jade Spirit Echo.
And I mean, how much health has he got? So if he takes out the Terem, he'll have 6, 9, and 4 would be 13 damage, so that's still lethal. I think he loses the game right now. Yeah. Edge has lethal, even if he takes out Terem. So that will be game 3.
Gets it back in his hand. Sunkeeper Terem, yeah.
Redemption.
Because the 1 health gets it done.
And even another Terem to not have exact lethal, but overdo.
Seals the deal.
Seals the deal.
Mr. Joe Norm he got lucky again.
Oh.
The Hex pulls it out
Yeah.
right at the time, but I tell you what, that was an entertaining match, that one right there. Couple of tempo swings coming back and forth. We saw a very, very good early game come out of Edge with his Murlocs. That was an amazing curve that he had on that one. Like, just out of control, and then luckily Mr. Joe Norm did actually have the opportunity to clear that entire board. Still had enough life to bring himself back in, had the Jinyus working through, got his life total back to a reasonable amount, and honestly almost pulled it off. He was a little behind still for most of it, but the opportunities were there to potentially get it back. Deathwing would have been out of control good. However, if that gets hexed, then that game gets totally different again. So it was interesting to see how that one shaped out, but again, the pressure just from that Murloc Paladin was a little bit too much for Mr. Joe Norm.
See, as much as I like Deathwing, and I do like Deathwing, it felt very minion heavy, his deck, so he couldn't afford to play Deathwing at any time during that game. Could he have afforded to play, unless he gets overwhelmed, or maybe like by a hunter, would he do that? But as it stood right there, you can see the control, or the mid-rangey control decks sort of, with their minion-heavy decks, beating the ones that wait in AoE. Because even though he had that Volcano and took out all those Murlocs, he still lost. So that sucks. It really does.
So we do get to see the Purify Priest coming out from the side of Mr. Joe Norm versus the Taunt Warrior. This one is sort of favored into the Purify Priest, but we'll have to see what the draws get. I mean, that's a pretty good one right there. Northshire Cleric, he's going to get the Razor Leaf. Doesn't have the coin, so it won't come out as quick as possible, and actually you can run out the quest right here and get quite a bit of taunts in his hand. Still even has the Fiery Wind Axe as well too for these Northshire Clerics, which are most likely going to come out here. I'd probably see both of those slam down. And he will get to deal with one of those, and then next turn even deal with it. No, it just decides to pass. So
see, that's the mark of a smart player. He knows that there's no benefit to playing them right now because you can't draw from them. And if he has an axe in hand, which we know he does, they're just going to die right now. So waiting and putting down this is a good play. And he'll be able to silence it next turn and do what he needs to do.
And you can see Edge is just trying as quick as possible to get as many taunts as, even as I say that, he drops a Acolyte of Pain down on the field. So probably just going to deal the 1 damage to the face right here. And now we're going to see the silence come into play. He's got it for both of them even as well with the Ancient Watcher. So Mr. Joe Norm is looking pretty darn tasty going right now into the mid game.
Ooh, double draw. Very good play. I like that. He can only afford to kill one of them next turn.
Well, he gets a Potion of Madness too, so he can even Acolyte of Pain, whatever comes out of him, trade it in, get the other card draw as well. Well, he decides that he's going to trade that
He's
off
able
and
to kill
whirlwind.
both. Okay, with that whirlwind draw, he can kill both of the North Shires. Okay, fair.
So pretty good, yeah, pretty good play right there. And doesn't get to slam down a minion with that one, so there will be another 4 damage coming in. And he can even buff it a little more if he wants to. Decides to go, oh, okay, against the Acolyte of Pain there, so interesting. And now you wonder if maybe he's thinking Brawl maybe is existing. He's kind of looking curious. You got to play, decides to drop down a couple more minions there with the Radiant Elemental and the Cabal Talon Priest, so I guess he's not too worried about the Brawl.
I like that. Just out of distance of that Fiery War Axe, they won't be able to be taking them out. And he's no choice but to throw down taunts. And if he throws down the right taunt, he might even be able to Potion of Madness it.
Yeah. So yeah, if he decides to slam down Bloodhoof the Brave, but he chooses not to.
Yeah,
Smart player there, does go with the Tar Creeper. Will get the 3 damage into that one and actually gets to sleep with the fishes and kill that one off. So very good there from Edge, getting that out of the field. Another Ancient Watcher could come into play here right away, but Acolyte of Pain comes down, and maybe right now he's just trying to draw into his win condition. But as this gets further and further, I mean, Edge is going to stabilize here. He's got another Fiery War Axe, which kills the Radiant Elemental, and he's getting more and more of his taunts. I believe his taunt counter's up to 3 out of 7 now, so if he gets quite a few more taunts out there, he's going to stabilize pretty darn well and has the opportunity to kill off the big minions. So this is a weirder turn.
Chooses to draw. Could even heal it, heal the enemy one if you want, and it would bring its attack back down to 2. Could also Talon Priest your Alkalite if you're worried about more draw.
So he decides to heal off his Talon Priest, puts another Talon Priest down on that Talon Priest. So the Execute comes out though onto the buffed Talon Priest, and the Acolyte of Pain is dropped down now as well. So more card draws coming out. Got the 5-1 and is choosing to War Axe maybe the Acolyte of Pain.
He really doesn't want it trading into his 5-1. He doesn't want that,
Yeah.
that great trade.
So Shadow Visions does come to the side of Mr. Joe Norm, and he also draws a Power Word Shield. So the Power Word Shield is actually going to keep that alive. And he's going to Shadow Vision another Shadow Vision, and does get himself the Divine Spirit. So
should have played around it.
Potion of Madness comes down onto the Acolyte of Pain. Beautiful play there from Mr. Joe Norm. Gets his own Acolyte of Pain, which he'll most likely slam down right now. May even decide to go start dealing the massive amounts of damage. No, he is going to go the Acolyte of Pain route.
Really doesn't want to get executed there. He's looking for that inner fire.
Yeah.
He really needs one. And drawing it off a Power Word Shield or getting it from another Shadow Visions would really help. I like that he's notice that Edge is doing damage to them but not killing them. That's really helping with this inner fire, because now he can't just straight up do it.
So the Power Word Shield could come out honestly at this point, and we haven't even seen a brawl yet. So
I think I would silence the taunt and just go face. I think you can do that. I think he wins. We got 8, 16.
yeah, Vulcan Punch with the silence. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yep.
Doubles that 24. Silence comes out onto the minion, and that's game. So Mr. Joe Norm is going to bring this bad boy right back to 2-2.
We go to game 5. That's how she goes at the SKL Hearthstone Finals.
Another best of 5 coming in hot.
Another Falcon Punch.
Falcon Punch!
Oh.
Love when that happens. Love when that happens. It looks so bleak for our priest, and then all of a sudden, it's just 24 damage right to the face. Just what happened?
Yep.
What happened? My face is gone.
Yep.
It's just, it's gonna be one of those Conor McGregor or Floyd Mayweather punches
Yeah, exactly.
coming up in, what's that, about a month here.
See me dancing and then boom to the face.
About a month, it's going to be a falcon punch on one of those two guys, and they're going to go down, and the whole crowd's going to erupt in Las Vegas.
All right.
Our crowd erupted here. There's only a few of us here, but they all erupted here.
So Joe Norm, if I'm not mistaken, is now playing mid-range. Sorry, Hunter?
No, he's got
Shaman.
his mid-range Shaman, yeah,
Mid-range
going up
Shaman
against
going against his warrior.
Taunt Warrior.
His Taunt Warrior.
So Taunt Warrior certainly has a lot more favorable matchup here.
I would disagree.
Yeah, you think so?
I think taunts get devolved pretty easily. And if you
It's
can throw
true.
down Devolved and Bloodlust at the same time, you win the game.
That's very true. That's
Yep.
very true. And those Jades are going to get pretty darn big pretty quick. And yeah, it is pretty hard for a Taunt Warrior, I guess, to get rid of those Jades once they start getting crazy big. So
And they can just smack your taunts. They'll just hit them in the face.
Mr. Joe Norm decides that he's going to slam down his
Alkalite, my
totem, and then Edge with the Acolyte of Pain right here. He's got to get those card drawing.
Yeah, that's unfortunate totem for Mr. Joe Norm. Now he's going to be forced to draw. You might as well totem again.
Yeah.
If you really want to play your thing from below next turn, you can't afford to do any overload things like weapon or clear. So totem again would be my choice.
Yeah, you got really nothing else. I mean, you could Jade Closet and give him 2 cards, but
Then you'll be playing with 3 mana again next turn.
yeah. And he really doesn't have much for that next turn.
No. Totem.
I agree with your totem, yep.
And hit face.
But we'll see. He's going to go do it. See where that damage comes out. Well, it's all going to go just straight into the face there and generates his minion, so he gets the draw. And he's actually going to kill off... he decides to put the Tar Creeper down, gets another one of his quests going, so he's at a 1 out of 7 now. And now it's kind of, yeah...
Does he devolve? He devolves. That's an interesting choice.
Ooh, Lore Walker Cho.
I kind of love this card. I love the whole evolve randomness because you end up with something like this, which you would never see in a deck ever. In a tournament. But here it is on the board.
So we're going to get, Lore Walker Cho, and a Jade Lightning might come across. No. So a thing from below gets played.
He does not want to give a Jade Lightning.
Oh, no, but I mean...
And maybe we'll see thing from below here.
So what's he going to do? Is he going to execute this and give him? He gives him.
He's gonna
Okay.
execute. All right. That's fair. And he may be forced to give him a Lightning Storm in return.
Yeah. How do you kill that board?
I think
you just Lightning Storm it right here.
Yeah.
Or he could give him a Maelstrom, I guess, and kill off Lore Walker Cho right now, but you kind of don't want to do that because you're giving him another card with the Acolyte.
That's true.
Dude does get the spell power, so that will guarantee the kill of everything.
Does give him a Lightning Storm, but I mean, that's the end of Lore Walker Cho.
Lore Walker Cho, rest in peace. Thank you for
R.I.P.
gracing us with your presence in SKL eSports. We appreciate your services to the Hearthstone community. So yeah, now it comes into our mid game here, and it's Jade Lightning comes into play right onto the Bloodhoof Brave, so a pretty concrete turn right there for Mr. Joe Norm. Has those Jades up to 2/2, and now we just slam down a Curator right here. It's pretty concrete turns coming out from both of these guys. Get their taunts going, gets the Beast and the Primordial Drake drawn on that one, so Edge has got all the cards, but has he got the answers to deal with these Jades that are growing bigger and bigger? He can slam down another one right now with Jade Chieftain. He can do it with the Claws as well. He can even
use his execute right now.
You could. I mean, yeah, he's got tons of options. You could even Maelstrom Portal execute it if you felt like it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see execute or Maelstrom Portal being used for anything significant in the future.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what goes down here. I mean, does it go for Maelstrom Portal? We'll have to see.
It's tough. You can see the stress putting on each turn of these individuals. They're sort of at the peak of professional play, and it's really, there's no perfect answer right now.
Well, yeah, no doubt. I mean, how do you deal with this guy right
I
now?
think you gotta execute it.
Going with the execute? No, it just does the damage and passes turn to it. Okay, interesting. Primordial Drake is going to clear the whole board, and I guess now he's got the execute for that, which is kind of nice. He can hex it now too, depending on how he's feeling. Might want to save your hex though for the Dire Horn, so that he doesn't get the shuffled one in there. So I'm curious he doesn't Maelstrom that, but does execute it off. Created by our boy Lawyer Walker Cho. Thanks for coming out, my dude.
R.I.P.
Rest in peace. Put up a cross by his graveyard.
He's like the Biggie Smalls of Hearthstone.
Biggie Smalls of Hearthstone, Lord Walker Cho. I don't know what you heard about me. I'm a PIMP. Lord Walker Cho is the biggest PIMP of Hearthstone.
Been loving him since the tutorial.
Loving him since the tutorial. Absolutely right. So Spirit Echo goes into play now onto the Jade Chieftain and his 4/4 Jade. So Ali Armorsmith coming out, and this is just getting into the big taunt minions. Gets his quest completed though, getting him the Sulphurous, and this is going to start bringing him right back into this game, because we're probably going to see hero power come out, and then maybe the weapon. No, decides not the hero power with it. Oh, I guess he wants to use the 2 mana right there for his Die Insect, and it hits the appropriate target, to be honest.
That's actually pretty, well, it's pretty good that it hit that, because his health is getting pretty low. Alright, so we're looking here. What can he do? Jade Chieftain?
It's got to come on again, yeah.
Another 5/5 taunt. That's really fortunate. He throws down his elemental. Okay, just taunt up. That's the only answer here. Oh, we see. R.I.P.
Lightning Storms.
Thank you, Lord Walker Cho. Oh,
Into sleep with the fishes. Lord Walker Cho slamming back down his authority.
yeah.
Lest we forget the reincarnation of Lord Walker Cho and the massive damage to the face.
2 health for Mr. Joe Norm. Things are pretty bleak.
Yeah, it slams down the
I don't
Armorsmith.
think there's any way to get out of this. Devolve, might as well. Let's see what happens.
Devolve, yeah. Devolve and Lightning Storm, maybe you get lucky, but
Well,
you gotta play a minion.
oh,
Nope.
That's not gonna do anything. Does he have any taunts?
He could Hex.
He could hex his own minion for a taunt.
Could Hex Fandral. Maybe? Oh, pretty unlucky.
Oh, I mean,
It's over.
That's over. That's Edge. Edge has won, and Mr. Joe Norm, unfortunately, that means he is out of the tournament. He played very well. We commend Mr. Joe Norm.
Yeah, if you're watching, we are going to go to a quick break here. We're going to restart the stream, and when we come back, we will get our interview here with both Edge and Mr. Joe Norm as we say goodbye to Mr. Joe Norm and Edge on his win. So we'll be right back.
See you then.